whispering part?
Man. Oh, no. God, no.
That was the funniest part.
You missed all the shit.
It says we have no viewers yet.
Good,
What?
good. Let's not mess things up by having viewers.
What? I am offended.
All right.
No, that's fine. We'll wait. We'll wait here.
No, I mean, we can still go.
Yeah, no need to wait. But what I am doing, though, is
I'm just
fucking... Y'all should probably post on Facebook. Fucking let people know that we're in this bitch. Y'all gonna do that, or it's not gonna do it? That's cool.
I can never get service on here. I don't know why. That's not Facebook.
God damn it.
All right. So, you guys know at Odd Planet Now for the Twitter and the Facebook. You're probably already liked it. If you haven't, you're a terrible person. But we're going to get on with the show, so we're not just sitting here.
What's going on, people?
There you go. There's Hemi. He's going to introduce himself and say hello.
Yeah, after he introduces me, I'll do it. Yo, what's good? It's Hemi, one half of ATLian Workshop and the Biggity I Ilding. What's happening? People at home, if you're watching. If you're not, catch it in the recording. Ba-dow.
George.
Oh. What the fuck?
No, we're just going to...
Yeah, what the fuck's up? I'm George Helmer IV, and we're here to get started.
Hey guys, I'm Steven. I'm here also on Odd Planet.
That's fucking creepy.
Was it?
Creepy! Yeah, creepy, bro. Creepy as shit, man. Yo, shout out to Brett. He said that his computer apparently is fucking up and he can't really view it right now. Shout out to you. You said your cursor's frozen and you were opening too many tabs, you guess. I guess try to restart the computer and see if like shit'll fix itself. But shout out to you nonetheless, bro. So if you don't catch us tonight, I'm sure you'll catch the the fucking, let's see, I'll give it a bit and see if it all catches up. Well, hopefully it does. How do you lower the volume on your computer? It keeps blinging. Okay. Yeah.
And shout
Personal side note.
Yeah, shout out to Brie. I believe she's watching. I think she is. I think she shot me a little text message saying she was.
Aww.
So we should be good.
Word.
Very nice. All right, we're going to get this party started.
Yes, sir.
Is Hemi here?
I'm in the building, bro. I'm dealing with problems, concerns, and everything. It's all going down right now, live as we speak.
I'm not chewing ice. It's gum. I'm sorry.
Not chewing ice.
No, she said I'm chewing ice. It's gum.
Yeah, we heard him pop earlier.
His headphones aren't plugged into anything, by the way.
Maybe that's why I didn't hear anything.
It's a concern.
You gonna
All
plug it in?
right.
Yeah.
So today's big topic is evolution. Well, the theory of evolution, I should more fully say. And we're going to kind of delve into how do we feel about it? What is it? Do we think it's true? What do other people think? And all that good stuff. I guess we should start with, what is it? What is evolution? How do you define evolution?
Well, we could read the definition
The
of
gradual
evolution.
development of something, especially from a simple to a more complex form.
Oh. Through
Dictionary.
So it's something that changes, essentially.
Something that changes.
If you're in 5th grade.
Why? Why does it change?
Yeah, why does it change? What'd you read? You read it mad fast. Fast reader? Do you even know what you read? Why we're asking you?
What?
Why does it change?
And then when you define it, it doesn't say why does it change the definition.
Here.
It's
So
for
what'd you say?
survival.
You said
It
I was
changes.
going to say to adapt.
Well, not necessarily.
It's adaptation.
The gradual development of something, especially from a simple to a more complex form. That's actually what evolution is, but it's not for adapting. That's not necessarily what evolution is.
Well, it actually, the theory is.
Oh.
It's the adaptation through natural selection.
Well, yeah, natural but natural selection is different than evolution.
Well, it's the basis of the theory of evolution, according to Charles Darwin,
Oh.
who made it.
But then it gets a little more complex than just that, though. Natural selection is different. Natural selection is that, for instance, let's imagine you have like 3 butterflies, and one butterfly has like little yellow dots on his wings, and another one has little red dots on his wings, and the other one has all black dots on his wings, and he's a really dark, butterfly. And then you have...
I came off a little racist, bro.
And then you have some environmental things that change, like, let's say there's a bunch of smog or something like that, so the area gets really dark. Well, the ones that are dark, with the dark rings, those are going to be less likely for prey to actually find them and kill them, so they're actually going to live a little bit longer. That's natural selection. That's not evolution. That's just...
Well, that's how evolution happens. Those survive
because
and
they
reproduce.
survived. Because they survived. Right. But that's not evolution. That's just something that already existed, populated.
Well, through mutation.
Well, that's something completely different. Mutation would be evolution. Natural selection is not evolution. Natural selection.
All right? The butterfly you're talking about. There's so many variations. They're going to have a common ancestor, and all those variations are mutations.
Right. So that evolved, but evolution and natural selection aren't exactly the same thing. Natural selection may be a part of evolution.
Yes.
It's a part of it. Yeah, it's not, but they're not identical though.
No, that's not what I said. I just said through natural selection, it causes evolution.
Through natural selection, it causes evolution.
I mean, that's the theory.
I would say it's part of it. I would say there's other parts.
I got you, but that's the theory
because you have microevolution, macroevolution,
correct,
and so on and so. So there's different forms of evolution, but I would say it deals with it definitely.
Well, we're just dealing with the basic, what the theory is. What's your thought, George? What do you think about that?
What about natural selection, or?
Well, I mean, what do you, the theory of evolution? Like me and Hemi obviously got a little different variation from it. What do you think?
I mean, I thought evolution was just sort of like, sort of you're saying about natural selection, where you kind of evolve for a reason, like I guess to survive or to be, or whatever.
Yeah, but for everything that I had heard and read and watched and everything, essentially said that they're not evolving to fit a specific need. That would be adaptation. Natural selection is just what just happens. It just they're not trying to be a certain way. It's just that they happen to fit.
They
better.
naturally survive.
Right. So that's natural selection. So it's not evolution that makes that work. Like they may have evolved.
Yeah, they say natural selection is what causes the evolution, because the ones that survive
that's
are
all
causing
that's left, and then they
change.
go from there.
Yeah.
Right.
That's all we were saying, bro. That's all Charles Darwin was saying, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think that's all he was saying.
That's it.
He said
his whole life.
He said quite a bit more.
That's pretty much
his whole
life.
So.
I think he delved a little bit deeper into
He looked like a wizard, so maybe
did
he made it all happen.
That's cool.
Now, I do want to point out, this is kind of ironic that Charles Darwin went to Christ College in Cambridge, and that's ironic. Because that goes completely against the religion he believed and his wife believed. But that happens with science sometimes. You're going to piss some people off.
Well, he went to that before or after his theory?
Before
his theory. Right. Well, I mean, that's...
And he became a naturalist
there.
I mean, he studied biology and all that good stuff. But all that was okay until he figured out other things.
Right. Which is good. He stayed with an open mind and ended up changing his whole belief system.
Oh yeah, that's exactly right.
You got to keep an open mind. Got to be open to new things. Otherwise, you're not going to notice fucking shit when it is right in front of your face.
Now, I do want to point out just one thing real quick. Right when he released The Origin of Species back in 1859, the biggest thing Christians, not the biggest, but one big thing they went after was we came from monkeys. And they were super offended, and they're like, this is wrong. Every political cartoonist drew Charles Darwin as a monkey to be funny.
Right.
And he never said that. It's like the most it's so misunderstood as far as that goes. Because he just said a common ancestor. And the monkeys were a branch, and we were a branch.
Right. That's why a lot of people try to debunk what you said, not what he actually said, but what people think he said. They try to debunk it by saying, "Well, monkeys still exist, so how is that the case?"
Right.
And it's not the case. It was an ancestor. It was a different branch of something monkey-like, at least.
Yeah.
Which, yet again, that would be natural selection. We've continued to move on and on and on in our adaptations. I would imagine the human species probably, since we're at the top of the food chain now, I would imagine we might stay a little bit longer, unless we blow ourselves up, in which case, natural selection.
Yeah, at its finest.
Yeah.
Except for the humans that can absorb radiation and somehow become George.
The X-Men.
Become
the X-Men because he's an X-Man. See what I did there?
X-Men.
Now, what was interesting, just like you said, Charles Darwin being open-minded, at the time, naturalists, they believed that, that the world was created and that the creatures were just created at the same time or were possibly created over time, and that these species basically just stayed the same. So he learned this in college and then proceeded to go around on that boat. What was it called? The Beagle?
The Beagle?
Yeah, the HMS Beagle.
Yeah?
It was a very tiny boat.
And it had a really obnoxious howl.
It probably did.
Oh, I fucking hate beagles suck balls.
So I think it's interesting, like, with everything he learned, he went out and observed, and that's when he was 30. It wasn't until 20 years later that he released what he believed. That's how long he wrestled with it. And that's kind of... So he was open-minded, but it was still kind of like, this is society. I can't say what I found, which is kind of mind-blowing to me.
Well, I mean, that fucking sucks. But, and if the majority of society seemed to be closed-minded, he was open-minded and then felt like he couldn't say anything, that fucking blows. So it's a good thing that's, finally everything got out. Because if he would have just looked at it like, I'm never going to mention this, then we, who knows how long it would have fucking taken. But you would have had to have gone to the Galapagos Islands and studied the fucking finches. It would have had to have been you.
Oh, speaking of finches, why don't we look at these finches?
Let's take a look at these finches.
And kind of see what Buckethead was talking about.
Buckethead, Charles Darwin.
Charles Darwin, Buckethead.
Buckethead. That's really the name of a musician.
All right, so here are the finches, and each finch was different on one of the Galapagos Islands. And that's kind of what triggered the thought process, because he noticed the design. Go ahead.
By the way, shout out Brett. He's watching now.
He's watching.
Hit us up on Twitter. Appreciate it, bro. Glad you got the tabs figured out and all that, bro.
Hey, Brett, I hope you love finches, bro.
Word, because we're about to finch this shit up, man.
But he noticed that each finch was slightly different, but like clearly from the same bird.
Yeah,
and so close.
Ancestor.
So they adapted,
right,
through natural selection,
right.
And he found one that was good at eating nuts. Gay jokes can happen now if you would like. No,
the hummingbird.
Oh.
The hummingbird.
The hummingbird.
That's what I heard. Is that no?
He said yes.
Nope.
Which has nothing to do with me.
The hummingbird. The one that's good at eating nuts.
And then he noticed one that would use tools to get food, would go pick up a stick to get grubs out of shit.
Yeah.
And then one was better at eating other things, but like
grubs out of shit.
Yeah,
That's a disgusting meal right there.
It's a bird's life.
It happens, I guess. But basically he was saying that all these finches, even though they were different, they all were from a common ancestor.
Yeah.
Now, he didn't know, like, that was an assumption. He was just like, no, they gotta come from a common ancestor, right?
Well...
Because, I mean, it's not like he had, like, science labs like we do now, so it's not like he actually
a naturalist
took DNA samples or anything and then
You're right, but DNA changed the game quite a bit.
Right, so it's not like he did that, but he just looked at it and said, you know what? These bitches are fucking similar as fuck. They're all from the bird family.
Because this is his drawing. I'll go back to it. He drew this. And if you look at it, there's certain details like the eyes and other things, the coloring, where he saw like this is the same bird.
Yeah, a lot of similarities.
And he knew they were finches.
Yeah, pretty much different beak shapes, and they probably acted slightly different. But
and he saw the habitat they lived in, and saw how they had to survive, and he figured that's what caused that change.
Right.
And of course, he saw a bunch of other things too. This is just
the
example.
Shit, if you're on the Galapagos fucking islands, by the way, shout out to the Galapagos Islands. Cause fucking they got the fucking what was the name of that shit? The fucking Komodo Dragon.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's like one of my favorite animals, just because it's fucking badass. Like it's fucking spit. Its saliva it has so much bacteria in it that you're, for the most part, like if it bites you or whatever, you're just gonna fucking die. Like that's fucking insane. Like talk about halitosis. Your boy Komodo is killing the game. shit is nuts.
Yeah.
But I fuck with it, man. And they got like old ass fucking tortoises and shit. I went to it wasn't really like the zoo, but it was kind of similar to the zoo, and they had like all this shit from the Galapagos, and it was fucking dope.
Yeah, well, when I saw the biopic on it, and they explained that it was just like it had creatures that seemed to be from the dinosaur era, along with current creatures. Right. It was a good mix.
Right.
Which allowed him to pretty much be like, oh, well, I guess I can go home now.
It was a bunch of shit that hadn't been seen before either.
Yeah, that's true, too. Especially the mid-19th century.
Right.
Yeah, that shit's dope, man. Shit is dope.
So, one of the problems, this is kind of why people were closed-minded to his thoughts at the time. His theory implied that we were merely animals and that we came from animals. And this is a big problem with the Bible, because in the Bible, God does care about the animals in the Bible, but they basically don't have souls. So if we're animals too, people were like, you're saying we don't have souls as well. We're not eternal.
So the Bible says that animals don't have souls,
right?
But if you look
back, it's vague. But I can't remember where the passage was. I forgot to write it down. But it's still like someone could read it and be like, oh yeah, that's what it means.
Right. Well, what's interesting is animism, which is like one of the first like religions like in existence, pretty much says like everything has souls. Like animals have souls, like inanimate objects like trees. Well, not inanimate objects like trees, but fucking trees, which obviously are living, and like shit. Like I guess inanimate objects probably didn't even really exist back then.
Native Americans,
rock would probably be.
Yeah,
so a rock, like pretty much everything, like everything in nature, everything had a soul. That's what animism pretty much preached, which predates the Bible, which is interesting because if you are
even after the Bible, Native Americans, a lot of those tribes believed
that same thing. Yeah, a lot of shit stemmed from animism and Christianity at some point on the tree.
That's a funny word.
Which check out what Christianity.
No. Animism.
Animism, yeah.
Animism.
Which, if you go on the Odd Planet page, which is facebook.com/oddplanetnow, if you go on there and you scroll down a little bit, you'll actually see I posted an image before, and it actually says like the pretty much it's like the branch of like religion, like where it all started, where it is now, and it's like a shitload of religions that are in there. So you should definitely check it out, kind of see where things came from. But yeah, that's really interesting, considering that believed everything had souls, and then the Bible says, nah, they don't have souls.
Right.
I don't know that I'd be able to agree. If souls do, in fact, exist, I would dare to say animals would probably have them. I mean, look at fucking dogs. They're amazing. You know what I mean? Like, if you're sad, your dog, like, knows you're sad and, like, cares. Like, your dog actually has, like, Stop hating on dogs. This guy's a dickhead. Cats don't really have emotions like that.
They look at you with those eyes.
No, cats are
dogs
the best.
are adorable.
Dogs are right, I guess. Yeah.
What? First of all, like I like cats. I think cats are fucking dope. But you can't just hate on dogs.
They smell.
Darwin would not approve.
Not all dogs.
Dogs smell. What do you mean?
They're loud.
So are you. You smell and you're loud.
That's
hate
fair.
Yourself.
Dogs are loud.
Yeah, that's what they do.
Cats just chill.
No, cats are loud depending on the cat.
I've never had a cat just randomly do that. Dogs randomly bark. Cats don't randomly meow. They just chill out.
You said that's what cats fucking do.
They don't do that.
I have cats.
They don't fucking.
Do you have a cat?
Yes, I grew up with 3 cats.
Right, and none of them meowed.
They meow, but not randomly. Like they just sit there and meow all the time. Like dogs can just sit there and bark and bark and bark and bark and bark and bark.
And cats
don't fucking. They just chill out.
Well, you had really boring.
No, they're awesome. They fucking came and spent time with you and shit.
They
rubbed their head against
came
you.
over.
Dogs do that too. Dogs like spending time with humans. Steven, you own a dog. How do you feel about your dog?
Independent.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You can throw a dog out in the woods and it'd probably die, and you can throw a cat out in the woods and it's fucking
What?
good. It's golden.
No, it's the exact opposite.
No.
All right, anyone that's watching right now,
A house cat does it. If it's been a house cat for any animal that's been a house animal for a long time, you can't just toss in the
I feel
woods.
like a cat would do better than a dog.
I would
Cats-
say a dog would do way
Maybe.
better. I don't know. Anyone that's watching right now,
Cats can
fucking
fucking
tweet
kill their
us
own-
at Odd Planet Now. Tweet us. Let us know
Cats
if
are
you have
gonna
a
kill birds
domesticated. Hold on,
and
bro.
mice.
I'm trying to ask people if you, and then you can continue. If you're watching right now, go to at Odd Planet Now. If you have a domesticated cat and a domesticated dog, and you just throw both of them out into the wilderness, which one do you think is gonna live the longest? Fucking tweet us, let us know what you think, and we'll fucking.
Realistically, whether you like dogs or not, or cats better, whatever, a cat is gonna go out and kill birds and mice and rodents and shit, and it's gonna eat it, and it's gonna be awesome. It's gonna climb trees and shit. Dogs are gonna run out on the highway and chase some car, and that's it. That's all there is to it.
Yeah, okay. Because I've never seen a dead cat in the road. I think one of the issues here is that if you domesticate a cat, a lot of people declaw the cat. So if the cat's declawed and domesticated, good luck trying to live when you're thrown out into the wilderness. No, good luck, cat.
I feel like this is forced natural selection we're talking about here.
What, when you declaw it?
No, when you throw a cat out the door and see if it survives.
I feel we should try it.
I'm just. This is just sheer hypothetical.
No,
we're not recommending that.
We're gonna
try.
We're gonna try it.
Your
Next week we'll let you
out.
know. We're gonna put these tracker things on a cat and a dog, and we'll let you know where they're at in a week.
Now I can't remember what I said. Did I say which one dies first, or which one lives longest? All right, Brett, you said cat. Did you mean that it's gonna live the longest, or it's gonna die first?
Let's be
My
realistic.
bad. I forgot the
I think you
question.
said live longest.
Live longest?
Realistically, yeah, you can like
Realistically,
dogs all
a cat, I would have to agree to.
I would say dog.
It's funny because Family Guy touched on this, and Brian was put outside on the most recent show, and he ended up making a spear and growing a beard. So,
Yeah, that's the way
cartoon
to go.
dogs survive better than cartoon cats, I would argue.
Great. No, that's cool. That matters.
None of this matters.
Cartoon dogs versus cartoon cats. God damn it.
I'm just saying.
Anyway,
Cats, lines.
Keep it coming in. How many viewers does it say we have?
Fuck with the line. That's it.
Let's check out. Is it 1?
80,000.
3.
3? Cool. So I know Brett's watching. Shout out, Brett.
think
I would
Bree-
imagine the homie Matt is watching because he hit me up asking for the link and shit. So Matt, if you're watching, shout out Matt. And third would be Brianna, probably.
I think Bree and Jessica are watching, but I don't know. I'm not sure.
Well, shout out Bree and Jessica. If you're watching. If you're not watching, no shout out. I take it
None at all. None at all.
I take it back
Don't
as
get
no.
shit.
I actually hate you the most.
Oh, someone's disgruntled. Cat. Oh, all right. So Brett says cat's gonna live longest. He probably don't have a dog. I'm joking. All right. Well, I'm still going with dog. I think dog.
I would have a dog and I would still say cat. I'd
It's
be
just that's cool. I mean, cat versus a bear, dog versus a bear. I don't know.
dog versus a lion.
Cat versus a lion.
No, dog versus a lion, bro.
But I'm saying both. I think both.
I think the cat would snuggle up and chill the lion, and then the lion would just get pissed at the dog and kill it.
I mean, you can assume that based on them being very similar species-wise. I don't know that a cat would just snuggle up with a lion and the lion would be cool with it, though.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't think that's the case.
I think I've seen a video with a cat relaxing with a cheetah.
I'm just saying, imagine these animals like fighting other animals and shit. I just think if it's a bigger animal, it's gonna be like, fuck you, cat. And if it's a dog, it's gonna be a little bit more of a fucking battle,
You've
bro.
seen plenty of YouTube videos.
Well,
where
my
dogs
German
are scared of
Shepherd was
cats.
killed by a bear.
Well, I think, huh?
Remember, my German Shepherd was killed by a bear.
Right, but if there was a cat there, then the bear would have killed the cat first.
Well, the cat wouldn't have approached the bear and tried to defend its territory.
Yeah.
Well, I think some dogs
also
probably
a
would
few-
run as well. I think it depends, bro.
Brains.
You just said that a dog has run from a cat
Cat
before.
brain. Dog brain.
I don't think that's the case, bro.
Yeah, you've seen that. There's all these kinds of YouTube videos where the cat hisses at the dog and the dog freaks out and runs. You never seen them? We had a dog and cats, and our dog was scared of the cats.
The homie Donald just said that I should F off because he got no shout out. Shout out, Donald. You didn't tell me you were watching, bruh. You
know,
gotta
really
tweet
three
us
viewers on
at
it,
Odd Planet Now, bruh. And
Really?
follow.
Donald, thank you for allowing us to plug it again.
Whoa, what?
For now.
Anyway.
We're viewers.
All right.
Anyway, evolution.
But shout out Donald. He's the homie.
Let's see.
Don Hartzell Graphics. Look up your boy. He's super dope.
So I think it's safe to say we're kind of all in agreement as far as natural selection and adaptation is occurring, which is an argument for evolution, which we're not biased. We're just talking.
I think it's very possible.
I don't think anyone can necessarily say that. Logically speaking, I don't think anyone can say that those things don't happen. There's substantial proof and evidence that those things do happen. Now, however, and I'm sure we're going to go into it, but there is a huge difference between microevolution, which a lot of it deals with what we're talking about here, and macroevolution.
Yes.
That's where it gets a little bit more complicated to actually prove.
And most creationists, they disagree with one. I can't remember which
macroevolution.
Yeah, they don't try to take on both.
Which I don't necessarily blame them for some of what they say, because some of it hasn't really been...
I like where you're going, and that's where we're going to kind of go into as far as what I have also.
I'm going to let you do it, and we'll get into it.
We'll go ahead. Why don't we see what the people think? We went out and interviewed some people. We asked them 3 questions. And you're going to get to see actual people and what they feel and what they think.
And also,
we got sunburnt.
Yeah, we did.
So enjoy.
We all got sunburnt.
We walked outside one day for a couple hours, and that was it.
And it was scary.
Never again. We had to talk to people.
Wow.
We had to
Brett
carry things.
Brett just said, actually, I had a cat that got killed by a garage door, so I don't know. Don't laugh at the cat getting killed by a garage door.
Hold on.
Shout out, it does, but shout out Brett, and rest in peace to your cat, bro.
Right. We're not... the reason I laughed was because that does sound like how a cartoon cat would die.
If you didn't know the person's cat and you heard about the story, I could see how it'd be.
Sorry
but
for
I
your
know
cat.
Brett, so rest in peace to your cat, bro.
Unless you hated it. If you hated it, then everything took care of itself.
Shout out Brianna for the follow. Appreciate you looking out. And we follow back.
Always.
I feel like you just now created your Twitter account.
Actually, I think what happened was during school we had to fucking make like a Twitter account and shit.
Yeah.
She hates it, but
we
appreciate the follow.
She's following one person, which is now us.
That's what I'm saying.
She now has one follower, which is us.
That's what I'm saying. She hates it, so it means a lot that you are following us.
Shout out Brianna. Appreciate that. Good looking out.
That's how I use Twitter.
And now that you're following us on Twitter, also let us know who lives the longest, cats or dogs.
Oh, she's gonna fucking say dog. I'm just saying.
Was that a problem? Because this is an open forum for people to voice their opinions. This guy.
Opinions?
Is
that what we're doing here?
It's fact is what it is. Cats will live the longest. This guy. Anyway. Any dog supporters, feel free to go ahead and hit us up with Twitter.
We're going to need t-shirts we hand out to people pro-cat, pro-dog.
Cats or dogs.
You're going to start a political movement based on cats.
It's going down. Well, anyway, so here's this video that we did, as Steven just said. Pretty much what we did, we went out and we asked a bunch of people, their thoughts on evolution. And as George said, we all got sunburned, and it was horrible. We are too fair-skinned. But hopefully, by doing all this stuff, we'll get a tan.
All right.
Let's get it cracking and popping.
You can listen.
Oh, yeah, I should probably.
Okay, the first question. Do you believe in the theory of evolution?
Yes. No.
Oh, we're going right to this?
We're going right to there.
No, I believe in adaptation because there's scientific proof for that. But evolution, that's more of a theory.
Yes I do.
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
No.
Of course.
No.
Yes. No, I don't.
I believe in the theory of evolution.
Yes.
That's a bad one.
There's no right or wrong answer. We're just
We know that, but we talk religion all the time. Yeah. That's why it's a problem.
Okay. How do you feel?
I believe in it, yes.
Believe in it?
I believe in it, but I think you can have evolution and creationism together. So that's, I do believe in the theory of evolution.
Not really. Not really.
Not really much. I do not.
You do not.
Somewhat.
Somewhat. Okay.
I absolutely do. I think Darwin is king.
Kind of. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Why do you believe that?
That's a hard one.
Yeah. There's a lot of science behind it.
Yes, there is.
Okay. But
More than I can recall, too.
Gotcha. Why don't you believe in the theory of evolution?
Really? You want to know? Really?
Yeah.
I'm a Satanist. I don't believe in evolution.
Okay. All right. Well, what do you believe?
I believe in reincarnation with Hinduism and, I don't know, worshiping the devil, I guess you could say.
Okay, so a little bit of a mix. I got
Yeah.
you. Nothing wrong with that. Okay, so your belief is we were created and we just kind of stayed the same throughout?
Well, kind of. I mean, not really, because we've adapted throughout the years.
Okay.
So that, but evolution, not so much. Like, I don't believe we came from like a monkey or something like that.
Because there's a lot of science behind it and a lot of proof, a lot of work has been put into researching all that, so.
Well, it depends, because I believe that God started it all, and everybody's open to interpretation.
Okay.
However, there is a good theory that we did evolve from, you know, the apes and everything. However, my thought is God created us.
That's what I was taught when I was growing up in school.
Okay.
Because I just believe that God creates everything and everything comes from Him.
Scientific study that we have a cerebrum, which is basically the small part of the brain, which is basically controls everything. But then what humans evolved more than what most animals have is the cerebellum, which basically allows us to access emotions. Basically, there's a lot more. It's a lot more complex.
You just don't? Any religious reason or?
No, I'm not religious.
Okay. And why do you? You said yes, correct?
It just makes more sense. You talk better than that. I mean, everything has a creation, a creator. Jehovah God is my creator.
Because I have not yet seen any other theory that makes more sense.
Because I think it had to be evolved one way or the other.
Because there's science behind it.
Science behind
Proven,
it? Okay.
almost.
And your beliefs? Why do you believe them?
Same thing. Well, okay, so let me say this. I have a science background,
Okay.
which heavily informs my way of thinking.
Okay.
And so, you know, I do believe in God, but I do believe in evolution as well.
Is it more about religious beliefs for you?
Yeah, kind of.
Kind of?
Yeah.
Okay. And why don't you believe?
Same thing.
Same thing? That was the same answer.
I am a Christian.
Okay.
I believe that God created the earth, but I believe that it can change for the better.
Because there's no way that intelligent design and the concept of the Earth being like 6,000 years old, it's just no way. It's implausible. There's too much scientific proof to show that it's that theory is viable. You know, there's archaeology and paleontology theories that go back millions and millions of years. How do you dispute that?
It's kind of like I believe in God and He created everything.
Okay.
And 6 days to Him may not be 6 days to us.
It makes sense.
Makes sense, okay. Same. If there, let's say a lot of evidence came out like in favor of evolution or in favor of something else, would that change your mind?
Not to say for myself.
I'm not 100% set on that.
Okay.
I could be changed.
I'm open to it. If there's scientific proof to back it up, then that's something I can't argue
Okay.
with that. There's scientific proof, so I can believe that God can use science to do that kind of stuff. But until there's proof for that. I mean, I believe in
Awesome.
creationism.
I mean, I think all that's alright, you know, people throw what they want out there, but
Yeah.
for me, I mean, that evidence that we have now is always going to be there, you know, so
Very true, very
it's
true.
always going to, like, regardless of what's found, like, there's still those, you know,
What we have now.
yeah, the evidence we found now.
Awesome. Appreciate it. Thank you,
No
sir.
problem. Biology major, so.
All right, perfect.
I'll be open-minded,
Uh-huh.
but however, the way I was raised.
Gotcha.
I would entertain any idea that you might want to give me.
Oh, awesome. Good deal. That's all we needed, sir.
All right.
Thank you.
You have a good day.
You too.
No.
No? All right, so it's Bible all the way.
Yeah.
The truth is, you can't say God is dead just because there's a bunch of science evidence and everything. The truth is, though, it's like you can put two and two together because first off, like even in the Bible, it says God will not be tested. It's almost kind of like, you know, you try to test God's not there, well, He's not going to be there. And then plus the other thing is that what they say about God is that they say that He's here forever. He cannot be created or nor destroyed. What's the same thing about energy? Energy is also the exact same thing, but just in scientific terms.
Yeah, if there's proof.
There's proof. Okay, so she's waiting for proof, and
Yeah, it depends on what it is. If there's more evidence to the other or for it, it just depends, man.
Not at all.
It would depend on the evidence at hand.
I would consider a lot of evidence because everything is a revolution around. There's one theory is not one. Evolution is caused by something. Okay? So if you have evolution, yes, but I believe God caused evolution, which made things roll the way they should roll.
Yeah, probably. Of course. It would depend on what that information was.
I'll probably change your belief.
Change your beliefs, and you, sir?
Probably change the belief.
All right.
Sometimes we're thinking we're right, but we never know when we find another thing.
Okay.
No, not that.
Would not? Okay, so firmly Bible 100% all the way. All right.
It depends how strong the evidence is.
If the facts are compelling enough, they could, yes.
Awesome.
All about the data.
I hear you.
I don't know. I'd have to see what that theory was.
Probably if there's enough empirical proof.
Okay. All right. So evidence. Okay. Same. All right. Thank y'all so much. Thank you. Y'all have a good afternoon. So there's that.
Word.
And I believe, I tried to do a count here, I believe there was like 21 people that said that they would change their mind if there was evidence or what have you. And 3 people just said no, just wouldn't change their mind.
Yeah.
No matter what evidence would be presented, fuck that, not changing our opinions.
Well, what's kind of funny that I noticed on both sides a little bit, there was people that are like, well, I believe in the theory of evolution. And they was like, well, why do you? And they're like, I mean, I just do.
So didn't really know. They were
right.
They were aware that it's like something to believe, but they didn't really know.
They were taught it. And then on the flip side, with the Christians we talked to, and the Jehovah's Witness, they were kind of the same. On the other side, they're like, well, I believe this because it just is, and I was taught that.
Right.
So it's funny that we're one and the same.
Right. Well, there was a lot of people though that were willing to.
Oh yeah, no, the third part.
Whereas the ones that were like, no, just Christian, don't believe in evolution. I think for the most part, they also said no, they wouldn't change their belief. If information came out. Whereas a lot of the people that were like, no, evolution, or even the ones that said evolution and God, blah, 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 but they were like, no, if there's new evidence, I'm willing to change my opinion.
Wasn't there one guy who said that he wouldn't change his opinion?
There was 3.
But that wasn't like...
Yeah, I know
one was the Jehovah's Witness dude. One was the...
You're talking about the evolution one, right?
Yeah, there was one...
He said the evidence it would still be there for evolution.
Right.
And that would still have to be taken into account. But yeah, he was pretty strong in the sense that like evolution is probably it.
Yeah, but I don't think he was necessarily saying that he wouldn't change.
I don't
his
think
mind.
he was saying.
He was just saying that information's still there, and we know it to be fact right now. So you still have to weigh the options,
right?
Because then he said he was a science major, and that's if he is science inclined, that's what science is. Science changes.
Right.
We learn new things daily. So
it's
if
fluid.
if things change scientifically, then you kind of got to roll with it. Brianna said, George, I made a new one just for this. Shout out Brianna making a Twitter just for this.
Wait. Does she have her normal Twitter and this is an extra one so she doesn't have to listen to it?
I don't know. Feel free to answer that.
Because if it is, I'm offended.
And then she said, dogs would live longer. Cats are too prissy. LOL. I agree. Cats are way too prissy. They're not G's like dogs. There's no G in cat, but there's a G in dog.
There's some... wow.
There's a G in garbage.
There's also a D in the dog.
Yeah, for dumbass.
Hey.
He has a dog.
I'm not saying all dogs are bad.
Oh, really? Because you just said dogs are dumbasses.
I said there's
Do you think dumbasses are good or bad?
Not good.
Huh?
No, dude. I didn't say all of them are dumbasses.
Really?
I just said D for dumbass.
Yeah.
I just said D
and
for
I
dumbass.
said we were talking about dogs. You just dumbassed all dogs.
I do know all dogs go to heaven.
Yeah. Well, apparently not for George. They fucking go to hell and they die.
Go to woods.
They go highway.
Brett said that he really liked some of these people's answers. Word. Glad to hear.
Yeah, we got a good mix.
Yeah, we got a good mix of people.
It went really well.
I honestly, me personally, I didn't even expect that. In fact, me and George were talking about it beforehand. I was thinking thinking everyone was just going to be like pretty much Bible all the way.
I was
not any evolution people, but I mean we were
definitely
surprised.
thought there was going to be a bunch of people saying that they were all for the Bible and they didn't want to even.
Now, granted, there were a lot of people that were like, no, I'm still religious, and they still had the creationism side to them, but they still also kind of molded like their belief with evolution, which isn't necessarily a bad thing.
Interesting behind the scenes information. We talked to a bunch of people about it, and some of them, when we said that the questions were about evolution, just walked away and wouldn't even talk about it at all.
They didn't want to deal with it.
It was weird.
And it's, that's one of those hot button issues. This is the only account I use. Well, shout out Brianna. It looks like you use it a lot based on what I'm seeing.
Dust it off.
You dust off that Twitter account.
Oh, she said it was new.
Yeah. She has 3 tweets now, all to us.
Whoa.
Shout out Brianna.
There we
Been
go.
looking out, first tweets.
There we go.
So Twitter should advertise with us because we're causing people to sign up.
Yeah, you're welcome, Twitter.
Yeah,
Good
Twitter.
God.
We just doubled how many people use
We're
Twitter.
helping you, Twitter.
Speaking of what you just said as far as numbers go, here, this study was done back in, I think it's you'll have to tell me, George, I can't see it from here. I think it was like 2005 or 2007. 2006. I was so close. What this graph is, well, you can kind of see it for yourself. I can't see it too well. But it's saying people that believe in evolution. Hold on, Hemi needs to shout someone out.
Shout out, Caleb.
Hold on.
He just said, "Hey," and my assumption is that you're watching the show. So if you're watching, shout out Caleb Hall, the homie.
He did text me, but all he said was my name, so I didn't know if to do the show or not.
Well, he just said George.
Yeah. Well, actually, George is with an S.
George's
with an S and an exclamation mark.
But did you get fatter, bro? Are you like plural now?
I don't know.
Well, anyway, shout out Caleb fucking
Appreciate
for tuning in and shit. You're the dude, bro. And Brett just said Atlanta has a bunch of liberals, though.
Yeah, well, we were out in the suburbs. Well, he's right, but it's interesting because I found this graph done in 2006, and America is split pretty much the way our interviews went.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So evolution, you got blue, they believe it, red, or like a pinkish red, whatever. Don't believe it.
Salmon.
And then not sure.
It's a silent L, bro.
I know, I don't know how to speak English.
So, I mean, looking at some of these countries, you can look at like Iceland that's like, no, evolution's the business.
Evolution's the business.
Yeah.
So blue essentially means that they believe
They
in
believe,
evolution.
yeah.
And where are we at?
Do they organize it from west to...
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
So United States is one of the lowest on the list there.
So, I mean, we are one of the bastions of religion, and that could play into that. But we do have a pretty good sized portion of, I have no idea.
That doesn't really surprise me, though.
No, not at all.
Not really.
I like something like Greece has a very huge, not sure.
Iceland is like, fuck everyone.
Iceland
is like, fuck these hoes, evolution, all the way.
So there's 10 people in Iceland, and 2 of them are like, no.
But we have the most false people is in Japan then? Or was Iceland still the most false?
No, Iceland is the most true. The most
true.
Most false is Turkey.
Yeah.
I mean,
not sure.
No, fuck it.
True.
You just read it all wrong, didn't you?
No.
Use your words.
You have confused yourself and us.
Oh,
and the people.
I think we just found out George is dyslexic.
George doesn't know how to read bar graphs.
Wait, are you colorblind, George? that doesn't mean screen.
I thought it was green.
Shout out Donald for watching.
Okay.
Well, he hashtagged watching Odd Planet now, so shout out.
Yeah. Kay was watching because he was like, so all dogs are dumbasses.
Right. Shout out Caleb for knowing that dogs are business.
Now here
means I agree.
Here's a breakdown by state in the United States.
Oh, this is interesting.
Oof, where's Georgia?
Look at us.
We're further down. We're not bad though. I think we're about half and half.
Where are we at? I don't see us.
You don't see us?
Oh, at the bottom.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, how many more we got below that? Go scroll down to the bottom of the list. Okay.
Yeah, we're not.
All right.
And you can see a good majority of the states are at that like 50-50.
Still,
so the
still
most.
a little
Wait.
though. Shout out Vermont.
What is this most?
And scroll down.
Vermont.
And
Missouri or
shout out Arkansas. I like to shout them both out. I don't know
So
the
red,
answer.
red is the most religious in this case.
And then least religious.
Least, yeah.
No, but which religion though? I mean, is this just considering Christianity, or is this also considering Buddhism?
Is this like religion versus evolution? Like all religions and evolution?
Right. I wonder what the graph actually is depicting.
What does that say?
Just to check my information, I understand gonna pull from the broke down religiosity.
Is religion an important part of your daily life?
Okay, so that's how they asked.
Oh, okay.
Are you religious? So it's not just Christianity. It could be Islam, Buddhism, Hindu.
Not a lot of the Islamic countries on the list, though.
So is this like primarily like a north and south thing? Or
I don't think it goes against Islam as much as it does Christianity.
Yeah?
I don't think so. But that is a topic for another.
Yeah, I'd have to study up on my Islam.
So, eventually I know we will. We're going to do an evolution versus religion, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And see what.
Or we can do religion versus religion.
Yeah,
my God's going to win.
So we're going to do crusades, basically.
Cat Dog's going to win.
Can't beat my God. Cat Dog. Cat Dog. You know the best part of Cat Dog? The dog.
Cat God is going to win. Like they.
Oh, well, that's another point. Dog is God backwards, thus meaning that dogs are more powerful. Maybe.
Cat is tack backwards.
You said what?
Cat is tack backwards.
Yeah,
right.
It's real pointy.
Would you rather step on a tack or God?
Because they're tacky. I wouldn't want... Yeah, I'd rather step on a tack than God. If there's a God that exists, I think that would probably
I feel
be
like
worse
attack
for
might
me
hurt.
if I step on
yeah,
God.
but that wouldn't necessarily hurt.
That would be...
Huh?
Would that be offensive?
What do you mean?
Like, if you step on someone...
That might be blasphemous, in fact. I don't know. Like, what do you mean? Yeah, your soul getting damned
At
doesn't
that
hurt
instant,
as much as stepping on a tack?
At that instant, does it hurt?
I don't know. I've never stepped on God. Have you? You don't know the answer.
I mean,
to this.
not recently.
You're right, I don't.
Yeah,
but I feel like they're not sharp and pointy.
No, that's cool. Based off your
they're
assumption.
hard or something. But
based off your assumption. What if God takes the form of attack when you step on him? What if it equally hurts? I mean, this is God that we're dealing with. We don't know what we're dealing with right now.
Well, you don't know what kind of attack it is either.
I mean, it's probably not a fucking...
It could be the world's largest.
It's the world's largest, sharpest, pointiest fucking attack, bro.
It might even be rusty.
That sounds like something that would be in the Midwest to attract tourists.
The world's largest attack!
Yeah, I could see that.
That's cute, guys.
We practiced that.
Yeah.
We knew the largest attack was coming up.
Yeah.
All right, so...
It's my whole life. Yeah, my voice. That sounds so good.
Yeah, look, I'm here for the people.
Wowzers. So, and some of the things we kind of ran into, a couple people, even the religious, mentioned, well, we can prove adaptation. But that doesn't necessarily mean evolution or that man changed. And that's kind of where the hiccup kind of is like, are humans evolving?
Well, are we evolving? Are we adapting? Is it micro or is it macro evolution?
Well, I'll keep it even.
Because I would say that we've evolved since we've been alive.
Yes.
And that's simply through our immune system.
Yeah. Now,
so that is fact. That's microevolution.
Yeah.
That most people don't have a problem with. The problem is macroevolution, which is have you ever had like two dogs fuck and then all of a sudden like a fucking cat appears or a new species that you've never fucking seen? Like, has that ever happened? Because essentially what they're getting at is, even if we came from a different species of monkey or what have you, and those two fucked, then how did that create a human? And then if a human did come from that, there's not another human to fuck, so that human had to fuck the monkey kind of like thing to
it would be a gradual change
going
throughout the population.
Maybe.
The ones that survive.
Maybe.
That's the theory.
That's the issue, because what they say is in science, the only way to prove things is through observation.
Correct.
And there's no way to observe that because it happens over a long fucking...
I'm going to show you something that says it actually can be
No,
observed.
this might be dope. But what I'm telling you is that's what people have saying. There's no way to actually observe it because it's nothing that you actually saw with your eyes.
Well, they also
that you
say,
witnessed.
kind of along those lines, they say it's such a broad theory that any evidence that does come up, they can fit the framework of evolution.
Which is very similar to religion itself.
Yeah.
Which is what a lot of well, no, and a lot of religious people actually say that evolution, to believe in that, is similar to a religion. Because essentially you have a lot of faith that it's true, but you don't really know that it's true.
Yeah.
And to back that up, the majority of people that were saying that they believed in evolution, some of which didn't even fully understand every piece to it.
Right.
Like the two people that specifically said that we came from monkeys.
That's what I was saying earlier.
You don't really fully understand exactly what evolution is. You have an idea of kind of what it is, but we didn't actually just come from monkeys or you know.
I feel like a lot of them didn't necessarily understand exactly maybe what evolution is.
And I think there's a lot of people like that. I think a lot of people also don't understand the religion that they believe wholeheartedly.
Oh, definitely.
Because a lot of people that I've talked to specifically that are religious or Christian or what have you haven't even read the Bible. How
that's huge.
Well,
yeah, I mean that's
a very long book. Who has the time?
Yeah, right. There's no pictures.
My Kindle couldn't hold the whole Bible.
Wow.
So it didn't.
Wow.
It's not
Islam definitely doesn't accept evolution, is what Brett just said.
Oh, okay. So that'd be something.
We'll definitely have a huge religious.
We're definitely gonna do that. and I'm sure we'll definitely touch on that too. That's interesting. I need to start studying up on that. Like I said, when I mentioned animism earlier, I'm trying to start from like the bottom and work my way up and study like all fucking religions, so I can shit on everyone and know more about everyone.
So you'll know them better than they know them.
Yep, that's the goal.
Fantastic.
That's the goal.
Now, to kind of, I know as far as like the outside of us, there's a really good reason why we're not changing, and that's technology. And, I mean, if you're able to change climate, change where you live, change how you live, shelters, food distribution, all that good stuff, that would keep us and would keep the mutations that do occur from taking over, I would argue. What do you think about that, George?
Wait, what? Repeat that.
Yeah, repeat that. That sounded confusing. I was also looking at a tweet.
I was saying outward evolution as far as us, like physical changes for survival.
Physical attributes.
Aren't as necessary because of technology.
Oh.
Right.
So shelter, food distribution, all that good stuff. We adapted mentally. Like that one guy, the interview, he said our minds grew. And then all of a sudden, we started making things that helped us survive. Therefore, we stopped changing to survive or evolving.
In that aspect, then I guess, we do use technology and fucking vehicles and houses and shit, a lot of stuff to, help us survive or whatever. So,
even weak humans survive now. Even a baby that is premature survives now.
Right.
And the mom survives a lot more often.
Thanks. I was a premature baby.
Yeah, so was I.
Thanks for calling us weak.
Explains a lot.
We were.
We were strong, Steven.
They had to put us in a plastic tub so we could breathe.
Strong, Steven. It was a strong plastic that had to contain us because we're beasts. You know what? I felt like Wolverine when I was in that.
You did?
Yeah. Came out with adamantium like a fucking boss.
Did you ever break any bones?
Yeah. Apparently it didn't go to my toes. I broke my toe bones before, but
that's Wolverine for you.
Yeah,
walks around with a limp.
But I healed
really fast, or was it 4 to 6 weeks?
Fast. I don't know. I'd have to go back in time. It was a long time ago.
All right.
Wolverine also has lived a long time.
We are not going into a debate on whether you're superheroes. We are not.
All right.
It's just something.
Tweet at Odd Planet now if you think I might happen to be Wolverine. Let us know.
All right.
Now.
So no. Go ahead. If you could just go ahead and go grab a knife and just cut open your whole arm, and we'll see what happens.
Well, we're in the middle of a show. I don't want to do that. It's blood because there will be blood, and no one wants to clean that up.
So
and I'm trying to look out.
One of our
trying to look out for you dudes. More proof that I'm Wolverine. I'm considerate of people, and he's considerate. He saves people.
Okay, whatever.
And I'm planning now.
I do have something else that kind of suggests maybe we are evolving. Because every Olympics, it seems like one world record is broken. Is that just science where their nutrition's better and their exercise regimens or the equipment's better, or are we physically changing to be slightly faster in whatever sport it is? Yeah, right?
Well, I don't think we're necessarily changing. I think it has more to do with equipment and stuff.
I would say, I don't know. It's kind of difficult to do it from that because you said at least one record is broken.
Right.
Which is cool. I would say if that one record that's broken is broken every single year substantially, then I would say humans as a whole are probably getting better at
well, we
that
don't change that quickly. That is the thought.
Right, but then I don't know if you can do it based on that. If it's like different things that they're just setting records for, I don't know if you'd be able to do it. I mean,
but we're still setting new records.
Right, but...
Like with Michael Phelps, getting all those medals and dominating and winning the most. And eating Subway, which was a big part, I'm sure.
Eat Subway every day, kids. Olympics.
Okay. They said his body design is why he won. So I would say he had a slight mutation as far as his arms being longer than the average human.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's right.
So, but that's not going to help him survive or cause
that's what
him
I'm getting at.
to procreate.
Then I don't. Is that an adaptation? He didn't adapt to be able to swim. He was just born that way genetically.
Yeah, I would say it's a mutation.
I don't know if it'd be a mutation. I'd say there's other people with like fucking long arms that just weren't good at swimming.
Well, right,
they never
but
tried, they never practiced.
If their family line never had necessarily long arms, and he was the first that did,
then it could have.
They would be considered that a mutation.
Couldn't have been a recessive gene.
Well, that would still be a mutation.
That would be considered a mutation.
Yeah, because it would be a variant of what he was coming from.
Just wasn't one of the dominant genes.
Either way, if a gene causes a change, it's still a mutation, whether it's recessive or dominant.
Okay. If no one ever had it throughout his whole family and that occurred,
yeah,
maybe. I don't know if that helps him like live longer or anything necessarily.
Right, because technology, that doesn't matter. But let's say if we were a water people, he would be the dominant.
If we were a water people and he was the only one with long arms,
we'd be in trouble.
We would just be done.
Like
yet again, I don't know that necessarily that might prove microevolution. That does not prove macroevolution, though. That's still where the problem is.
Let's steer it
unless
back.
You found something.
Let's just steer it back to just standard Charles Darwin theory of evolution,
which ends up being macroevolution.
Well, sure. Any adaptation that sticks around for survival. Do you think breaking those world records?
No.
Okay.
I mean, I think it's great that we do it, and you know, it gives us something to shoot for.
Yeah, people are always going to push harder next year or whatever.
Right.
Push harder, get lighter equipment, whatever.
Kids are starting to prepare like at a super young age now, too.
They got freaking McDonald's.
Like, and they might not have ever done that before. They got McDonald's.
They've definitely done that before.
I don't know. Well, I mean, granted, they might have.
Like Asian cultures, it's... I think from the beginning, because they've always had like tiny 3-year-old acrobats.
To be honest, though, let's to be completely honest, I don't know that humanity as a whole is going to evolve to be amazing physical specimens. I don't think that's going to happen.
No, it definitely won't because of technology.
Right. So you
took away technology. No, and the fat people.
But that's what I'm getting at. I don't know that we're evolving. Like you said that we're breaking world records, so the assumption would be that we're all kind of evolving and getting better at that kind of shit. I don't think that's the case.
Yeah.
I think because of technology, we would actually not do. It would be the exact inverse of that. We would actually be not doing as much shit. I mean, if we're looking at America, then we're all just going to evolve to be fat. But I would say that for the most part, like we're actually going to end up.
Our obesity numbers have dropped.
I did the scale break, and that's why I dropped a little bit.
They stopped asking people.
They stopped asking. Okay,
they stopped doing surveys.
Fair enough. No, but like for instance, what the thought is, as far as how we're going to actually continue to evolve, the thought is that we're maybe going to get a little bit taller. We're not going to have hair like we had before, like a lot of chest hair, back hair, and all that. That's to like keep people warm and shit like that. But like now we don't really need that. We have like air conditioners and fucking heaters and shit, so you don't really need it. So the thought is that hair is just going to kind of leave.
You say that to some Middle Eastern people and Their hair's getting thicker, it looks like.
Well, fair enough.
Some Greeks.
Fair enough. But some people aren't. And so that the thought is that we might actually be going the complete opposite way. Be really tall, really like skinny and like small muscle mass, nothing crazy. That's the thought of how pretty much will be George, hairless George in probably about 3 years.
Just three.
3 years.
The ideal man.
Everyone
George
will be
Homer.
without hair.
I mean,
no, fuck you.
I'm still the
I
ideal.
like my
Now,
hair.
there is some things threatening our survival. As far as
Brianna just said totally Wolverine, bro. Good looking out, Brianna. Good call on that.
Oh my god.
We all fully support that.
Oh you can't join their side.
Tell her not
Retweet.
Tell her not to abuse her
What do you mean
Twitter.
we can't join their side? What are you talking about?
Like all my friends are just gonna like jump on your little
Wolverine
choo
Your
train thing.
First of all, maybe
Be
I'm
like dogs, Wolverine, Superman.
Maybe I'm a cool dude. Maybe they're like, this guy obviously is great because he likes dogs and is Wolverine.
He's really good at arguing.
Yeah.
Is what it is.
Anyway, winning. And then Brett actually said, is this Hemi? Well, that's a video. I'm not going to be able to watch that right now. It's like 3 minutes long. I'll check it out, though. Apparently, it's going to be funny. He said, is this Hemi in 30 years? So it's probably a really old, bald dude that looks like Wolverine. All right. He also said, what do you guys think about Stephen Hawking saying that artificial intelligence will cause the end of humanity?
I don't know. No, I don't.
Here's the thing.
It's not going that far.
I think it will.
That actually, that needs to be a topic altogether.
Yeah.
That needs to be a topic because that's a very big.
We can still hit a brief, one-line thought on it since he asked. I personally think it will. I think it could potentially get rid of the thought of the way that we view humans right now. I think they call it singularity or whatever.
How long eventually?
I don't know, bro. It might be 200 years. They think that we're gonna end up pretty much being like little robo people, like with fucking cyborg fucking arms and shit like that. Have shit in your fucking.
Well, there's a Russian billionaire working on a suit so he can live forever.
Yeah, no, they have something you can put in your brain that can at some point actually show you what your dreams are. I mean, if we have science and technology that can actually do that kind of shit, yeah, I would say at some point we're just gonna have a fucking and technically speaking, I think our brains right now are way more advanced than any computer that exists. Way more advanced. So that's the part of humanity I think that'll stick around.
They
for
actually
a very
recently
long
just
time.
built circuitry. I forgot which school that's mimicking a brain, because computer functions can already pass the brain as far as how much we use. I don't know if that's a statement as far as what we're capable of.
Right. I think the issue is that in order to do that, in order for it to surpass the brain, it would have to invent something. It can calculate better, yes, but can it invent? Because we can invent shit out of fucking nowhere. We're the ones that invented
that's
that.
the thing.
If they can create something that can
I don't know if
invent
it's the New York Times. I think it may be Washington Post. I'm not sure. But there's a computer that analyzes the internet and writes articles. That's creative,
right? So
and it says it's the author.
Yeah, but essentially what it's doing is extrapolating information that's out there, and then it's just putting it in a concise. That's what
we do.
No, I agree. That is exactly what we do. But that's not necessarily how you invent. Like sometimes, and this is a lot of creative people. You just sit there, and all of a sudden you just have a thought, and you're like, wow.
Well, we're processing, too, and that processing's back. It's back there. We don't always know what's happening. It's like when you're like, oh, what was the name of that movie? You go to sleep and you wake up and you're like, it was Scarface. The process never stops.
The steamboat engine was created by I want to say it was 3 or 4 people at the exact same time in different locations of the world, and they weren't even familiar with the people that also invented it. They all tried to get the patent.
That's the human archetype.
They all tried to get the patent at the exact same time. What's really interesting is that you said what?
Several inventions that's happened because of the resources at the time and the intelligence level causes people to have the idea at the same time.
The steamboat engine, which is super complicated, at the same time That's a huge coincidence. I don't
Well,
know
that's
that.
not the only-
I
there's
don't
a
know
lot
that
of
it can
them.
be as explained just like you did. Like, oh, of course that's going to happen. I don't think
No,
it's that
well,
simple.
I said
I think
it
it's,
wasn't that simple. I said the intelligence level and the resources in those areas were about the same, and that helped cause the idea to occur at the same time.
I don't know that you can prove that or that I can say.
Well, if they all had
no.
similar problems and they're like, this is what would fix it.
Right,
If the same thing was
exactly.
going on in these different parts, then I think that's completely illogical.
I don't think
Hey,
it
me,
works
you,
exactly
and him
that
are like
way.
all on 3 islands, and we're like,
It was like the
like,
same.
man, I wish I could get to that side of the island.
It's like
whatever.
Thomas
We
Edison
all
had the
make
idea.
we all make a bridge.
I gather what y'all are saying. It's a steamboat, though. It was like identical in the way that they designed it. That is
because there's one way with everyone who designed it. So like, if they all
I don't
designed
think
it,
there's not one way
I
to
mean, like-
design shit. There's not one way. That's what I'm getting at. That is fucking insane.
Oh, it's still
and it's
crazy.
It's called the law of. Fuck,
Well,
I, have
I
to
just
look it up.
agreed with you. I would say yes. I said it's crazy. You said it's insane.
Awesome. No, I'm disagreeing with you disagreeing, saying that no, it can definitely that's very simple, and here's the reason why.
No, I'm not saying it's simple.
Because there's scientists right now that say we don't know the reason why. So that you just being like,
Sure.
oh, I just heard that information, just
I
process
said
it right
what
now.
could have
here's why.
happened. I said what could have happened.
Of course, but this has happened like a bunch of times with a bunch of different things.
Yes.
So I think there's a little bit more to it than just oh, this is obviously what it is. I think there's more thought that would need.
Well,
to go
I said
into
a
it.
lot more than that.
You said that it was a problem that they needed to solve, all
Right.
of them in their respective
And
locations, and that they all had the resources to be able to make
same
it
type
happen.
of resource and the same intelligence level.
What is intelligence level?
The-
How do you define that? And can you really just say that one person's smarter than the other person, or is it that
You can, in a sense, depending on, but it depends what you're talking about. But clearly, all these guys were a type of inventor, and they were like, how can we move blah, blah, blah faster? How can we do quicker transportation? How can we create more power? We can make these, like, brewery kind of things that can compress heat, and that's kind of what occurred. I'm going to say it was like a domino effect that led into it. It's not simple, but out of everything that's been invented, I would say just because of can't think of the word, the probability, eventually the dice are going to line up and people are going to think the same is what I'm getting at.
but all at the exact same time and try to patent it at the same time?
Yes.
And I completely disagree. I don't think that.
Because like a
I
guy,
don't think that's
a
the
guy
case
was
at all.
making the light bulb in England, and Edison was trying to make it here, and those were completely two separate things. And the guy that made it in England, from what I remember, actually it worked a little bit better, but Edison, obviously being a big corporation at that time, made his happen. And they were exact same time. Same thing happened with the telephone as well. Alexander Graham Bell was second to the patent office within like weeks. And he paid the patent office off for him to get the patent. And he was like, tear up the other one. So he got the rights to the first telephone.
Which is fuck shit.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
Well, yeah, but that happens.
Yeah. Well, back then it happened a lot. Thomas Edison stole so many ideas.
Yeah.
And ripped people off. But that's a whole nother.
I feel like big things like that.
I was just saying it's possible for it to happen because of those
Can it
variables.
happen? Of course.
Yeah.
Anything can happen. I'm not saying that can't. I'm just saying I think it's a little more difficult to explain that. There is a theory that essentially there's just like this big like thing, just a fucking bank of knowledge that is just fucking out there in existence, and the human mind can access it at any point in time. And who knows, maybe all their minds accessed it at the same time, if that really exists, that all their minds accessed it at the same time, and they were just like, oh, boom, I'm gonna fucking do this. Like, that could be a fucking possibility.
Yep.
Does it sound a little bit more fucking like crazy and shit? Yeah, but we
The
don't
crazy
we
ideas,
don't even know.
The crazy ideas are usually the ones that are normal in 10 years.
Maybe. We don't even know what's at the very center of our Earth. Like, we haven't drilled all the way down to really know what is down there.
We will, though.
We're
going to need oil.
There's all
we don't know. We don't
kinds
know.
of theories with the center of the Earth.
Yeah, we don't know what's going on our own planet. So I think it's very difficult to even like scratch the surface on certain things like this. Very interesting
Well,
to talk about.
We should definitely try.
We should of course.
we should definitely
it's
try to
stupid if
explain
you don't.
it
It's
if we have an
stupid if
idea.
you don't.
Yeah.
But I just think it's very difficult to have any kind of concrete answer on, and even on evolution, it's very difficult to have a very concrete answer like this is it, we're done.
Yeah.
So and that's actually kind of what this show is also for people who are watching, to like realize that there's different opinions, different thoughts, so on and so forth, and that's a great thing. That's a really great thing.
Well, that's how we further ourselves.
Right, and don't just listen to other people's opinions and be like, oh, well, that's
Like
what it
ours.
is. Like, think for yourself. Go out, learn as much as you can, read a bunch of shit, and even after everything you read, if you're like, I don't believe any of that shit, do your own fucking research. Like, just try to fucking...
Even because of the internet, you can go, if you hate reading, you can just go watch videos from people that want to express stuff and explain things.
And you can listen to audiobooks, too. They have a fucking stupid amount of fucking audiobooks that exist, and you can just listen to them shits.
That sounds like old people stuff, though.
No, not at all. If you don't like reading...
I feel like there's a cone in your audiobook.
Imagine you're...
I want to play my book on the record
Imagine
player.
you're a truck driver and you just
I was just
can't
going to
really
say, my dad uses audiobooks a lot.
Audiobook, if you're a truck driver...
He should use a big screen.
Yeah, he should read and drive. You're right.
You should.
Oh, what's up?
That's an interesting story.
It's ridiculous.
I'm crashing my truck.
Oh, shit, I'm falling off a bridge.
Oh, shit.
It was worth
amazing.
it.
All right, anyway, I guess let's get back to evolution.
That was weird.
I found...
Let's not talk about this. Then we're like, boom, let's talk about it.
Yeah, well, yeah, fuck
no,
it happens, but that's,
Smash.
So,
that's what happened.
Evolution.
All right. I read something that was kind of interesting talking about the brain evolving. Because that would be the major thing. That's the thing we use the most. And that's, that's what we
would be the one that we would look to evolve if technology has been evolving and that's...
And better technology helps us survive. And that's what I was going to talk about.
Yeah.
Because there is technology shortfalls as far as like we cause pollution. We're not good at getting resources to people. And obviously part of that is greed too. So
I would say probably the largest part of that is greed.
Which could be very easily argued that it is.
Right.
Hopefully not, but
I mean,
it's what it is. It is what it is.
Well, the thing is, if it is greed, there's people need to figure out a way to overcome that, which a lot of people are going to be like, no, humans just are greedy and you can't overcome it. But those are people who don't want to think about a problem and solve it.
True. Yep. So these two guys at the University of Chicago back in 2005, one was named Bruce Lawn, another guy...
Bruce Lee.
I was thinking the same thing. Like Bruce Lawn.
Yeah,
it was Bruce Lee's lawn?
Well, Bruce Lee has the best quotes on the internet, so I would assume
after he got done mowing, he was like, Bruce Lawn. Is that what he did? By the way, Brianna said, come on, George, you know I love you. And Brett said, I got to work on my bathroom, so I'm out. Peace. Good luck on your bathroom.
That sounds like he's going to take a dump. That's what that sounds like.
And I said, good luck on your bathroom project. So instead of just like putting him out there that he's going to go take a dump or what have you, good luck on your bathroom projects, bro. I support what you're doing.
We support dumps.
We support dumps, bro.
That's our new slogan.
We support dumps. I'm not mad at it. All right.
So they found a variant in 2 genes in brain development. I can't even pronounce them. Well, actually, I can. One is ASPM, and the other one is microcephalin. I'm going to go with that. That looks like that.
Microelephant. Small elephants?
And they appear to actually be a big part of natural selection. So we still have humans that we go and we're like, what the fuck are they doing? Like they'll lift a car up in a stupid way, get under it, and crush themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So there are still dumb people dying.
Oh, just a few. No, I'm kidding.
But they may be the dumbest. Which would take them out of the gene pool.
Hold on. Don't do that.
It's possible.
It doesn't mean that... Look, if that happens, sometimes... people might have... I mean, have you ever had a brain fart? Have you ever said something really stupid and you're like, my bad, and later on you're like, my bad? That's the same... It's the same... Fuck you. That's the same thing. It's like somebody might do something fucking retarded and then like realize they did something retarded. I've done it before and I'm decently intelligent.
Have you ever put your life in danger?
I'm sure it's probably happened at some point in time in my life. Not that I really remember. I normally try to stay out of danger as far as what I can think about.
This wasn't really the study. That was just a thought I had. Because I was like, if our brain is like natural selection, there may be a chance that dumber people are dying off at a faster rate. But then there's also another argument that dumber people have 8 kids because they don't know how to manage money.
I would say there's another theory, which is almost fact, that dumber people are killing more people.
Yeah? Are they killing other dumb people?
No, probably smart people. Yeah. See, there's a small group of people It's called an oligarchy. And what they do is
What's
they
an
decide that war gives
oligarchy?
people a lot of fucking money. So then what they want to do is they want to go kill a bunch of people that are innocent. And it's probably a bunch of smart people. And then they're dead. So I don't know. Smart
Like
people
the
might
plane.
actually be losing the war because of bombs.
Well,
and,
what if the
and-
smart people are the oligarchy?
I don't think they are.
Oligarchy.
I don't think they are. If they were, I feel
They're
like
maintaining
like
power and staying in charge.
I feel like they could be.
Which is a very, I would say, smart skill.
I'd say it's pretty easy if you look at it. You know, let's put something on TV that entertains people from a very young age, and let's try to not have them actually look into things. But until the internet was invented, I think a lot more people are smartening up now.
I'm gonna put something out there though. This study inadvertently got kind of into trouble because they were studying this gene and they found out basically populations of Asians, Europeans were having this gene develop, and it was more often the case. They were finding it. Whereas in Africa, this is where they got in trouble. They're like, are you saying Africans are dumber? They were saying this gene wasn't seen as often and not developing. And when you do look at Africa, and obviously we're not going to say any race is dumber than the other, but if this gene's not appearing, there is a lot more war in Africa, a lot more genocide, there's a lot more like quick killing. Could that be part of like a natural selection?
I would say
that would kind of hint at human evolution.
Well, I don't know if I wouldn't say it's natural selection. Well, actually, yeah, I could see. So you're essentially saying that
war in our nations.
You're saying that since people may be evolving, becoming
with this
smarter
gene
or what
that
have you,
makes
with
them
whatever
smarter.
gene it is, you're saying that since that's happening, maybe people in an area that aren't developing that gene might kill each other off. So therefore, that's natural selection, is what you're getting at, right?
It's kind of what it hinted at.
Well, I
don't want to say that because I don't know if these genes make you smarter or not.
Here's the thing. The question would be, what's the education look like in those particular areas where they saw the gene flourishing? What's the education looking like in the areas, Africa, where it's not, is it
not as big a concern?
Is education?
It's more important to people.
Is
to get
education
a gun
not a
in
big
lot of
concern
cases.
there, or is it a big concern, but they just can't get it because fucking?
It's obviously going to be a big concern, but there's still going to be a large population of people trying to either take control of whatever nation they're in, and they're more concerned about like imminent survival. I would argue.
Right.
They're more concerned like I can't sit here for 8 hours trying to learn.
Right. So
I need to learn how to use this gun well to protect my family.
Right. So if they don't have the same education like that, then yeah, at that point it's still.
Would that be limiting the gene possibly?
Potentially, that if we're going for the evolution of the brain, then I would say yes. I would say it could be a possibility.
That's a big thought.
I would say it could be a possibility.
Because technically, with what you just said, we could cause our own evolution.
Well, and
in a sense,
and we may have already started that by learning and getting your brain to like really. Because think about it, if we're one of the only creatures on this planet that have the way of thinking that we do, the reasoning and way of thinking that we do, and if evolution does in fact exist, and if something that you use all the time can get stronger and stronger, this is essentially a muscle. And if that gets passed genetically, then I would dare to say that people at some point would get smarter. We've created something like the internet to be able to pretty much access information from all over the world, people with all different, thoughts, opinions, views, and everything. So now we can actually process so much shit that we never had before, ever, except for in books. I mean, obviously. But the internet's a lot easier. Like books, you'd have to go to a fucking library, or you'd have to buy it. You might not have been able to afford it. Like, I mean, at some point, I hope Google is going to end up making the internet pretty much free for damn near everyone fucking have. Now, obviously, in certain areas, it's still going to be difficult. But if you have access to all this shit and you can look at this, yeah, I would dare to say that your brain obviously would get smarter, and over time, I would say that
you would be able to pass that on to your children.
I would say maybe you'd be able to pass that on, and that would essentially be human evolution. So at what you mentioned earlier, there might not be a physical characteristic because we might be good where we're at. Who knows? It might change. In fact,
Well,
the
genes are a physical change in our brain.
Right, no, exactly, but you don't see it. I'm just talking about things that you actually view. I mean, you do see it if you take pictures of it and shit like that. Yeah, of course. But you don't just, like, we can't view it with our eyes right now. Just me looking at you, I can't see your brain. Unless I was Superman. I'm Wolverine, I'm not Superman, so I can't do it.
I would assume I don't have it.
Right, this guy. But yeah, no. I think that's super interesting.
I am not a smart man.
Another thought, though, is that if things do change, I think I had read this, that like your like pinky or whatever, you know, this finger and like your fucking like small toe or whatever, like at some point at the pink and the stink, at some point like these bitches might just like leave because you just don't use it as much. That was a thought that I heard someone say.
I use the pinky every day.
You use it every day.
Hold on. Gay people, when they drink, do this.
I just did this.
Right,
so
they
there
don't
is a
need it.
use.
They don't use it.
It's a symbol.
It's a symbol.
Or rich people, I guess.
That's a symbol.
Gay rich people definitely use it.
Yeah, both of them together.
By the way, Caleb said dogs are the bomb, and George is colorblind and dyslexic.
Wow, he's behind a couple.
No, he said it a while back.
Oh, okay.
And they said Superman is also the shit. Shout out Superman.
Soups.
Shout out my homie Soups.
So, George, what do you think about those two genes possibly popping up in different populations around the world?
I mean, I guess it kind of does have a lot to do with fucking, like... I mean, it'd have to be, like, how smart you are, I guess. And it would be something that would get passed down. But, like... It doesn't have to... I don't know if it has anything to do with like the education in the system in that region, though.
Yeah, that's true.
What?
I would say education obviously can change it, and maybe the genes cause the people to be more like, I want to learn.
Yeah, so I don't know if like a better education system like enhances it or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. The study didn't go into that.
If the brain is a muscle, though, you don't think that would strengthen a muscle?
It does.
And as your muscle
they've proven that. And we have...
No, I agree. No, it would.
Right. Yeah, like luminosity and those things where you do certain things that make you...
those fucking bastards. Yeah, have you been to that website? By the way, shout out to Luminosity. It might be a great thing that you do, but fuck you for making people fucking pay to do that shit. Like, I went onto the website to, like, do this shit because I was like, oh, that's fucking awesome. Like, I would love to, like, strengthen my brain and
if that site was free...
I would definitely be doing it.
And it had ads you had to watch before you did it. Would you do it?
Fuck yeah, I'd do it.
What was that thing called?
Yeah, I don't care. Like, if you want to do ads, fucking do ads.
That might be a better business model.
Yeah, but if you're trying to make people pay to... I have a huge problem with people having to pay to learn. I think it's fucking retarded, and I think we're holding humanity back by having a fucking bullshit resource saying, hey, well, you gotta have money to be able to learn. Like, fuck you and that whole fucking system. Knowledge should be free, and that's kind of what the internet has done. It's made it free. If you want to learn something, you fucking
there are free universities online now.
And that's fucking awesome. Yeah, I'm all for anything free as long as it's good education. I'm fine with it.
And we're starting to see nonprofit.
Awesome. Good.
Online colleges.
Good.
Which, so when you pay them, you're just paying for people to teach you. You're not paying for someone to go home and buy a car.
Right.
Right. Well, you are in a sense, but you're not paying. I was going to say you're not paying a profit to where they're going home to a mansion.
Right.
That's better.
But however, at the same time,
to the point where you can't do that.
Yeah, at the same time, like if we are paying for knowledge, and if we have to pay for knowledge, then I would say that teachers should be getting paid substantially more. That way, they care a little more too.
Right.
No, I definitely agree.
You know what I mean? Because that's
more.
Well, I mean, you go back.
I would say they're just as
but I also think they should put more into becoming a teacher.
Right. No, of course. There's going to be a lot of people that disagree with me, but I think it's just as important that teachers get paid almost like fucking doctors.
Well, that used to be.
Well,
in the 1950s, you went to extra school to become a teacher.
Right.
And a lot of people were rejected.
Yeah.
Whereas now, just to deal with
there's so many
population.
Yeah, there's so many humans in the world.
They're just like, here's your degree.
Yeah.
Here's your you're a teacher.
Yeah. What's 1 + 1? 2?
All you got to do is teach them what's on this paper.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that.
Now, of course,
there are good teachers.
We're kind of shitting on teachers that we have now. There are some good teachers out there, and some very smart teachers and everything. But at the same time, there's also some dumb ones, and I specifically had some growing up, and I shit on them in school. I would shit on them in front of the students and make them look fucking dumb. And I'm not a fan of, well, I'm not a fan of authority in general, but fucking and that was primarily why I kind of bucked the system like that. But the simple fact of the matter is, there should be very intelligent teachers that do have to go through a lot of schooling, just like doctors, to be able to teach kids, because that's huge. Like the intelligence level of the human population is probably one of our most important things, considering if that is how we're evolving, we need to really fucking hone in on that. Like,
you just fucking said it. They're teaching kids. Like,
right.
That's huge. That's a huge fucking.
That's huge.
Like,
that's the rest of.
That's the future of humanity.
Yeah.
I mean, like, that's. Oh my god, it's nuts.
George is the future of humanity.
Fuck, man.
He's no Wolverine.
Well, sorry, humanity is just going to be gay, so George is actually putting an end to it all.
Back to the gay pile.
I dropped out.
That's how it stops.
It's because I dropped out. You didn't drop out. They made you drop out. That was a bullshit.
No, I agree would disagree with you.
All right.
Yeah.
If you're still watching, she's gonna say a lot of shit.
It sounded like they fucking made you.
She's gonna say a lot of shit.
All right, so
shout out Donald. He said he's out for the night. Appreciate you watching up until now, bro. Fucking shout out.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Donald, man. Holler
love
at
you,
your
bye,
boy, bro. And yeah.
I just blew my kiss.
Did you? There it is,
I
Donald.
did too.
Enjoy it.
I did the pucker up.
I'm not gonna. I do that behind closed doors with Donald.
You don't kiss and tell?
I'm not putting it all out there.
You're a gentleman?
It's
all right, so...
Is it gay if...
The oldest named after?
Whoa. All right. So we talked a lot about for evolution and some against, but I think we should delve more into going against the theory of evolution. Mm-hmm. And we touched on it in a couple ways. And one of them was observation.
Right.
There's no way to observe the actual history of. But then again, would you consider fossils to be a good way to observe the past?
Well, I would say yes and no. What I heard a few creationists say, which was interesting to me, was, do we have proof that the fossils existed? Yeah. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Well, yeah, we have proof that the fossil existed, but what they were saying was, is there any proof can you find from that fossil that particular fossil created something, that it actually reproduced? How do you prove that it reproduced and that there's others? If you have a shitload of fossils that show like a change or whatever, then maybe that would
that's what I was going to say.
Be something interesting.
We don't know, like, yeah, there's fossils, but we don't know much really about them.
Right,
like,
you can't prove that particular creature reproduced. And as I mentioned earlier, like, if the old monkeys or whatever that ended up changing, the type of monkey ended up changing and created a human at some point. At some point, there had to have been like a human, and then just like, unless this happened gradually throughout other monkey families.
Wouldn't you say current life today would be proof for some of those fossils and how we kind of look like them, but they are slightly different from us?
I would say maybe based on how we're viewing it.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't know if the fossils are fucking like real.
Right. Well, that too.
Okay.
I mean, they could say, hey, this is real, and the scientists could, this is imagining this is a conspiracy, which I don't necessarily believe,
like,
but let's imagine it was. They could be like, no, this is a real fossil, we've done all the tests, this is what it is. And no one else tests it, and then you'd be like, well, fuck, man. Like,
now, would you... Well, that's the thing. Science does put it up for testing.
No, right. That's what I'm saying.
And there's a lot of... It would have to be a very broad conspiracy.
Right. No, of course.
Very broad.
That's what I'm saying.
That doesn't mean it's
That's
not.
what I'm saying. I don't necessarily believe that.
Sure.
But fuck, it could have happened. Maybe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and the grand spectrum of could it fucking happen.
That's like you hear a lot of people, like a lot of more Christian-based people say like, God put the fossils here to like. Was it like
to challenge our beliefs?
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Fucking.
So Satan probably put him there.
Right.
Satan put him there. Yeah, that's what they would say. Yeah.
Yeah, which I don't. I mean, I honestly, I think that's stupid.
Yeah, but it is possible.
What, that Satan?
No, I mean like
now
that like. I don't know.
What?
That fucking like what was I trying to say?
Now let's
hold on, let him go ahead.
I was just saying that like a lot of people thought, or a lot of people think that like the fossils were put here to challenge their faith or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Well, good job.
And like so
that's difficult as hell.
And you think that could be the case? Maybe.
Maybe it could be, yeah.
I agree. Could be.
Yeah.
I think it's a lot less likely.
It is a lot less likely, but
I
if we're talking about fossils and saying fossils are proof,
anything could be.
I'm saying it can't be 100% proof.
I agree.
Because that's what a lot of people say.
Now, but I would say if we're looking at this bar graph up here, I would say that I would say everyone at this table would probably be a big blue bar on that particular thing. Like, do you think that fossils were put here by Satan to make... See, I mean,
okay,
like,
I'm not
what's funny, you are,
but that's kind of...
I mean, I think it's a little rough. I don't think you can just say fossils were put here by Satan to fucking deter us from...
I don't think you can say anything is the fucking final thing.
But
I was just bringing up a point while we were talking about
I'm not
fossils.
disagreeing with you.
I'm just saying while we're talking about fossils.
No, we're on the same page. I'm not disagreeing with you. I agree that you can't necessarily say one thing over the other. What I would though, if I were to choose a side, I would not choose the side of Satan did it, and the reason why is because right. The reason why is because I would try to look at it a little more scientifically and be like, okay, cool. Well, let's not just say Satan did it and that's the end of story. I would say let's look into these fossils, see what we can learn from it, and continue to put that at least into our memory banks that this exists, and see if anything else coincides with it to give us a concrete answer. Whereas other people might be like, no, Satan did that, fuck it, not listening to it, don't care about the dinosaur fossils. And if everyone had that mentality, we'd never fucking learn anything. It'd just be fucking retarded. It'd be fucking stupid. What's interesting though, because we're talking about trying to go against the evolution thing versus going against the creationism thing, I watched a bunch of debates. I love fucking watching debates. It's fucking amazing. Religious debates, these evolution debates. It's always interesting. You always learn more about people, their beliefs, and it kind of helps you kind of debate too.
Would you consider yourself a master debater?
I would say so. I'm really good. I like to just beat the competition if I can,
and just stroke the ideas out.
Stroke the ideas out. You know what I mean? And then just see what comes out of it. You know what I mean?
And how much?
But when I was watching that, what I found is that a lot of the creationists, they were just trying to debunk what evolution has said.
Versus proving creationism?
Yeah, they weren't like really coming up with any kind of thing for things that existed. They were just saying, no, you're wrong because this. It's like if you have an idea and somebody just says, I don't like it, and you say, well, what do you not like about it? They're like, I just don't like it. It's like, well, you didn't help that person at all. You just said you didn't like it, and you didn't know what you didn't like about it. You're not helping. It's kind of one of those kind of situations. You can't just say, no, that's not true, and not have a fucking thought. You could be like, well, the Bible says this, but the Bible's never going to change. The Bible's always going to stay the same. It's, of course, your interpretation of it's going to change because that fucking exists right now. But the Bible's always going to stay the same. There's no new evidence. So if we keep coming out with new evidence scientifically and the Bible just stays the same, it seems to me that a lot of people that fully believe the Bible are just always going to try to make whatever new science comes out, either try to fit their beliefs or say, nope, not true because the Bible says this. And you're not adding anything. You're not helping with anything. You're just trying to make new evidence fit your beliefs or say, no, it's not true because of our beliefs.
Right.
There's no...
Gotcha.
There's no furthering any point with that. And here's a dinosaur.
As far as what here?
Someone's hand reaching for his butt.
What'd you bring up here? Yeah, why is somebody reaching for dinosaur butt?
Dino
butt.
Because it's important. So you had mentioned that, okay, we don't know if this thing reproduced.
Right.
Right. I would say looking like, okay, this right here, what you're seeing here is a kind of a graph, and you got the million... the years going across the top here.
And what was this done by, like carbon dating or like what?
Yes. That I would assume yes.
Well, it's probably a variation of a bunch of dating systems.
They do a bunch of things. So let's say we're looking way back in the past.
I see what you did there.
And
nice. In Match.com.
We see a dinosaur. We're like, okay, we don't know if it reproduced. But then a few million years later, based on dating, which they kind of argued, well, that could be wrong, which it very well could be. Mm-hmm. There's something that's slightly different, but you're like, the structure's still there. Mm-hmm. So by seeing that, I would say there must be reproducing. and then slight changing through reproduction. This diagram just kind of shows how dinosaurs became birds.
Maybe so. But let's also do this. Let's play devil's advocate here and say that didn't happen.
Satan put him there.
Well, hold on. No, listen.
I'm just kidding.
Let's say that that didn't happen. Let's say all those animals existed at the same time, and by natural selection.
These dates.
No.
So you're saying get rid of the carbon dating?
Well, let's take the Bible standpoint, right? So in the Bible, humans live to be how fucking old?
Which part of the Bible? Because
Yeah.
Jesus died
Old
pretty
Testament.
young. Old Testament.
No, you're gonna do that. Old Testament.
Old Testament. Old Testament. You got up to thousands.
About thousands, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
So let's just say that fucking animals live longer too. Let's just imagine that this is the case. Well,
God.
Then I'm just saying, and I'm not saying I believe it.
I know.
I'm just saying.
I think it's funny where this is going.
I'm just saying, if we're doing this, then technically speaking, you would have animals that may not die off until way later. You know what I mean? And through natural selection, you have some animals that died off before the other ones, and it may have looked like they evolved, but they actually didn't. It was just different species that all maybe came from one kind of species that all lived, and through natural selection. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, but still the theory.
So that's why they're lower, because they
they live longer. So that's
the natural selection though would still fall into the theory
of what?
Evolution.
Well, not necessarily.
Even if they did live for long periods.
Well, let's take natural selection out. Well, no. Let's leave.
Hold on.
Let's leave natural.
Let me see if I can grasp this first.
Okay.
So you're saying all of these animals were around at the same time?
Yes. Let's imagine they all existed.
So there wasn't a gradual change, because that would be evolution.
Yeah,
you're saying they all lived, but some survived.
Yes. Let's imagine that happened. Then it's just natural selection.
That's a variation of natural selection. I couldn't fathom, but I understand.
No, right, but look at it from the creationist standpoint, which would be that God made everything.
Yeah.
At one time, all the animals, humans, whatever, at one time, and then
what I like about that is humans got to ride dinosaurs at some point.
I wish I did,
which is fucking sweet. but if you were to take that particular viewpoint, then essentially you would just have God created everything, and then fucking natural selection took fucking its place, and microevolution happened, which that we can prove. We can prove microevolution happened. We can't necessarily prove
we can
macroevolution.
see small. We can definitely see small changes very easily.
Yeah, we can't really prove macroevolution except for
because bacteria and viruses adapt like within hours.
And that's micro, right? That's microevolution,
exactly.
And that no one really can debate. No one can try to debunk that. It's just the macroevolution, and that's what I was mentioning earlier.
Yeah.
That's the one thing that I kept hearing creationists mention, and I didn't hear anybody that was on the evolution side really say, well, here's the fucking thing. They tried to talk about fossils. That's where they went to. They were like, well, you can see it here. But then the creationists were saying, well, yes, based on your viewpoint, but that we weren't there to witness that. Like, we don't know that that's the case. And it's very difficult to actually observe it with your eyes while you're alive, macroevolution. But something that I find interesting, which I didn't hear used in the debates, which might be able to be used, and yet again this still might be microevolution, but what I find interesting is that dinosaurs are looked at now pretty much as birds. Like, birds essentially evolved from dinosaurs. You can change. You got something about that?
No, I'm going to show you something that still looks like a dinosaur that's a bird.
You can change the DNA of certain animals. Certain birds. You can change certain parts about their DNA that'll actually give them teeth instead, like beaks, but like with teeth in them and shit. That'll actually make them scaly. Like reptilian. There's a bunch of things that you can change, and to me that's fucking fascinating. That's amazing, and I think that in itself almost explains microevolution. That's super fucking fact. Macroevolution, on the other hand, though, here's what's interesting, and I just had this thought: if the microevolution is through the DNA, what if all of a sudden at one point all of it changed at one point? You following me, Steven? I know you're looking at shit.
Yeah.
Are you following me? Like, what? How there's different parts of the DNA that change, like, the fucking scales, the teeth, and all that. And you can, they've literally done it. They've changed those small things and seen it actually appear in the bird and everything. What if all those things changed in the DNA at one time? it would actually be macroevolution at that point. It would change from one, like a reptile looks completely different than a bird.
Yeah.
But essentially, if that did happen, that would be macroevolution.
Yeah.
We haven't necessarily observed it, but I would say that DNA has the capability of essentially allowing macroevolution.
Mm-hmm.
So if we could actually witness that, I think people wouldn't really be able to debunk evolution at that point. It'd be very difficult to debunk evolution.
That's true.
Yeah.
So I find
that's definitely a good way to look at it.
Very interesting.
If you're for the theory. But here is a bird that's alive today. It's called the Bearded Vulture. You can go check it out yourself. There's a lot of variations of it. But, I mean, you look at the skin, it kind of looks like a dinosaur. That's if that's what dinosaurs look like.
Right.
Because a lot of times you see a cardinal or a blue jay and you're like, how the hell is that a dinosaur?
Pull up a picture of a, I guess, velociraptor. Do you need to know how to spell Velosa?
No, I could spell it. Because I was interested in a Hyundai Veloster.
Veloster?
Yeah.
That's different than a velociraptor.
Is it?
They just combine the two words. No. Leave that up and pull up that. I want to show the difference between the two. I wanted that as a reference. Don't breathe at me.
I wanted this to be a quick thing, but everyone has opinions. Oh, easy, Tiger.
My bad, bro.
Whoa.
Fucking hey, structure.
Getting all mad.
I'm mad. So you didn't know how to spell Velosa.
It starts with a V.
Can we find like a click on
this dude or this dude? Oh, that's the
click on
same
him.
angle. I
Yeah,
like
click
that.
on him. All right, and then go back and forth between that and the other thing.
Just make that a separate window.
You do know how hard it is.
Just drag that. Oh, great.
Perfect. No, this is what George wanted. Whoops. Everyone relax.
I'm freaking out.
View image. Click on view image.
It's kind of a small.
Yeah.
But that helps.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I could probably see the similarities.
Yeah, I never thought there was a bird that was kind of like, hey.
Oh, there you
go. That kind of looked like a dinosaur as far as how we theorize how they look.
Yeah, now his eye obviously has a circle thing, but yet again through DNA, I believe you can change the eye shape.
Yeah.
Everything like the eye and like
even like a beak kind of structure.
Yeah, even the structure at the top of the head and like where the eye's at. I don't know. Look at it. It's neat.
Yeah, I could see where that looks really similar. That's really fucking interesting.
So that's crazy.
But yeah, I mean, I think looking at birds and dinosaurs is definitely if everything changed at one point, I would say that's definitely fucking macroevolution.
Okay.
And that's just through DNA change.
So
but I don't know what causes that. I don't know what could. But if it did happen, I would say that'd be fucking macroevolution in your face, bitch.
Wowzers. Woo. So I was looking. I was looking through this book. George, if you could read the title for me.
What, The Truth About Evolution? Or, oh my god, what is that?
I knew, yeah, I even put a note in here that George was going to get upset about the semicolon.
What is that?
George hates semicolons.
The Truth About Evolution or Garbage, Don't Let Satan Make a Monkey Out of You.
Wow.
Now, this actually, there was misspellings and stuff, and supposedly a doctor wrote this. Doctor in the sense of, I went to school for 7 years for a subject. I'm sure not a medical doctor.
Why is that semicolon even there? That doesn't make sense for a semicolon to even...
It's to look intelligent.
Like, if you were even using it right, why was it even... What?
But, George, you'll like this.
Why is it there? Like, even if you're using it correctly, I don't think that should be there.
He's so mad right now.
I'm just saying, like, what is it?
Yeah. George is 2 steps away from asking you to delete it specifically, Steven.
Well,
you fucking open that up in Word and delete that.
We'll contact George's enemy, apparently, this doctor, and say, hey, I don't care what you wrote. There's a semicolon, and I can't get past it.
Dr. Max Younce.
Okay, you can see, yeah, something like that.
There you go. Holler at your boy, George.
All right, shout out to Maxie.
So this small book here spent a couple pages trying to debunk Bigfoot.
Good luck.
God. Go ahead and tell him about your fucking love for Bigfoot.
What? Bigfoot's out there. He's with the fucking plane.
But there's a lot of theory, especially people
Noah's Ark
that believe in Bigfoot, that he's kind of the missing link, that he's kind of an in-between that has survived.
Okay.
And if we were to find him, he would kind of be the bridge in a lot of what the theory of evolution is.
Yeah.
And that kind of...
Bigfoot's dope.
So Bigfoot is dope.
That kind of blew my mind a little bit. But
so is he for evolution or against?
He's super against.
Well, he's against evolution?
Don't let Satan make a monkey out of you.
That's what I was getting at.
Yeah,
he's the one that was talking about Bigfoot?
Yes. Trying to debunk his
Bigfoot.
existence. Yes.
Okay, he tried to
say he didn't exist.
So he was trying to debunk Bigfoot. So
saying
evolution
it's not possible.
stood no chance.
The footage was blah blah blah. Yeah. So, yes.
I mean, I'm not mad if Bigfoot doesn't exist. I'm not mad at that at all. It still does, in my opinion, it doesn't debunk evolution.
I know.
It just debunks.
Well,
that
he
one
touched
route
on.
that you can
He
take.
basically went through every possible subject that could possibly support evolution and tried to shoot it down.
Yeah.
That's all it was.
Right.
And I thought it was funny reading through it, and I was like, Bigfoot. All right, Bigfoot's getting into this fight. Monster truck and everything.
Man, Bigfoot.
But he brought up certain animals to discuss evolution. I thought this was kind of interesting. A couple of them were like, okay, that's dumb. Like the mule, he says, a donkey and a horse, they get together, they make a mule. They make a zebra. First. And the mule can't reproduce. Just because of when you put a horse and a donkey together, the mule, they lose the ability to reproduce. And then he says, where does evolution go from there? And I was just like, well, it doesn't.
Right.
It's not going to evolve.
That's where natural selection happens.
Yeah, there's already. So that was easy to shoot down. But there's something.
Then hold on, and he was a doctor. He was a doctor, and he had that point. And he was like, "Done deal, valid point." And within a very quick.
Well, I mean, Shaquille O'Neal's a doctor too, so there's not.
Really?
Yeah.
Of what? Hoops?
Doctor Hoops? I don't know. I forgot what it was. It may have been like business or something. A doctorate.
Okay, he does well with business.
Somebody's watching. Tweet us.
I'm not mad at that.
He's part owner of like 117 Five Guys. Did you know that?
I didn't know that. That's interesting. He's what about?
I said if anyone's watching, tweet us about his doctor thing if they know.
Whose doctor thing? Oh, Shaquille O'Neal being a doctor?
He's trying. George, we're here for you. Hold on, let's zoom in on George.
Let's not zoom in on this semicolon.
Are we zoomed in on George?
Yeah, George.
All right, George, say something.
What?
Talk to the people.
He wants to know what Dr. Shaquille O'Neal, why he has a doctorate.
No, I just said tweet us if y'all know anything about it, since we don't know exactly.
Why are you saying no?
Can they tweet us at?
We were agreeing. Yeah. Plug our planet.
I had a planet now.
It's at Odd Planet.
At Odd Planet now. I'm pretty sure I know.
Write it down and show the people.
What the?
All right, we have to move on.
What kind of pen is this?
His pen needs to evolve into one that works.
Yeah, evolution failed. Natural selection, throw away that pen.
Yeah, natural selection said fuck Papermate.
It's not Papermate.
Oh, good.
Whoa.
Now Sonny can't make a joke about where I work. What is it?
It's big, bro.
See? I don't just know pins based on how they look.
The Pro Pluses are the best pins out there, except they run out after you write like a page. That's the only
You're
problem.
not really helping my claim.
Okay.
These are the best pins I know.
But reading this section about
when you do a lot of writing, you're gonna know what pins are fucking awesome.
You write a bunch? I don't write at all. I use the computer.
Yes, I do a lot of handheld writing.
Handheld writing?
Analog writing, is that what you're saying?
What the fuck?
He has an analog notebook and his analog pen.
Really, bro? With the fucking, what was that shit?
Why are you saying about fucking analog?
I get handheld gaming, like PSP and stuff. I guess.
I just meant like I'm holding a pin.
Handheld writing?
Yeah.
I think it's just called handwriting.
You're just gonna come up here. Oh, what are you doing? You can't pet dogs.
Yeah, don't touch that dog.
Apparently I hate all dogs.
You can't pet dogs.
Don't go outside.
You can't pet dogs.
All right, so, but he did
on.
bring up a couple good points dealing with animals, trying to get back to the subject here, if we can.
Yeah, of course.
He, all right, so in that diagram I showed earlier, it showed dinosaurs gradually changing into birds. in a sense, with what data they have. He made an argument, what's the use of an arm that's kind of shaped like a wing, but it's not developed enough to fly? Like, why did that adapt? There would be no point. It wouldn't help it survive. Why is it a mutation that stood out and evolved two birds? He's saying it couldn't have happened because for that theory to work, it would have to be useful and help
like
them
an
survive.
ostrich?
Well, I mean, no, just the dinosaurs. We saw dinosaurs that were in the middle that had weird arms.
Oh.
And he's saying, just say something to me that says that's useful in some way.
I'd say something different. I'd say maybe that was the step it had to take to move to what it went to. Maybe that was the in-between step it had to just go through. Even though it may not have been useful, maybe it had
was
to
a
go.
slow...
Maybe, yeah, it's fucking
like,
evolution.
But if it didn't...
It's like Pokemon.
Hold on, but what if it... God. All right, rule. All right, if it didn't help...
What?
If it didn't help... if it didn't help survival at that time, though, that's kind of the theory.
No, not at all. Because
it wouldn't affect natural selection. The other dinosaurs should technically still survive without...
Yet again, natural selection isn't we're going to evolve to work for what we need. That's not necessarily what natural selection is. Natural selection is you already have what you have, and if you live through whatever time period and you keep going to evolve, that's natural selection. People have a thought that when you evolve, you're evolving just to get something that'll make you better and so on and so forth. That's not always the case. It could have been an evolution in that we're talking about birds changing, right? Or we're talking about dinosaurs changing into birds.
Yeah, because he
dinosaurs
specifically was talking about wings.
Right. So when dinosaurs were changing into birds, maybe that was like part of what they went to, and then later on they went to where they could fucking fly to be above everything else, so it's less predators.
He's saying that part in between that was useless, that wouldn't help.
It was.
Why did it pop up? Stick around.
It was the in-between evolution.
I understand.
Was it around today then, or what?
No, he's saying the part. Like, okay.
Like, which part is it? Can you bring it up? What part is he talking about? Is there anything we can bring up to actually see? So
we can look at the diagram again.
Let's check the diagram.
So I'm thinking he's discussing this.
Are people looking at this?
Hold on.
Like
no, not
these
yet.
Guys?
Yes.
The
this
Obleraptosaurus
like this
and the Dromaeosaurus.
Why would this help them to the point to where they started to kind of dominate and survive, and others died off? Why would this chicken wing looking thing that can't help flight?
Well, are you ready
be
for
useful?
Are you ready for something that I'm
They
about to
may
say?
have been useful.
Are you ready for this?
No, probably not.
Was that one of the first creatures that actually had that?
I don't know.
Because picture this. Picture that animal going like this, flapping its kind of like wing things.
To another
off. Right, to another animal, it might have might have intimidated it.
That's what I was wondering. That's what I was trying to get
and then later on, as it continued to grow, finally they could actually take flight, and then now, I mean, it's very
okay. So if it scared other animals, it would have got bigger and bigger, wouldn't it?
Right.
To be better.
Yeah. You know,
the one with
and
the
if they
biggest
use
one,
it a lot,
maybe they used it in a mating dance.
Maybe, yeah. That's weird. Maybe, maybe. But that is a possible reason for why it might have existed. Dr. Max, whatever,
yeah,
whoever you are.
Okay,
could have been.
Another one was spiders.
Oh.
So,
I wish they didn't evolve. What are you doing? Why did you get so close to my face?
The spiders, bro.
What are you doing? What?
He was being a spider.
Is that what just happened? Because I am creeped out. Stop petting dogs. You don't like them. You don't like them.
He jumped up here.
You don't like them.
I never said I don't like dogs.
Hey, come over here.
Cats are obviously better.
I like dogs way more. Come over here, bro.
Look, he's chilling with me. He's fine.
Now, spiders
are cute.
I'm
kidding. Y'all both.
He likes Spider-Man. That's what it is.
I don't.
He hates Spider-Man, which is fucking stupid.
I know.
If you're watching right now, go ahead and
we're gonna have a superhero debate one day.
George is ridiculous for not liking.
Yeah, we'll do superheroes one day.
Oh, you wait.
And then George will talk about heroes. We'll talk about superheroes.
Right. He'll be like, Thor's the best, and we'll be like, anyway, let's talk about everyone that's way better than Thor.
But he's saying.
How many viewers do we have right now, by the way?
It doesn't update me usually.
What does that mean?
It's still at 3.
Okay.
But I've known we've had more.
Yeah, I'm sure they've come and gone.
So,
yeah, when you start talking about
spiders, let's try again. Round 3. He's saying,
So anyway,
okay, early spiders that didn't spin webs or didn't have the ability to make a web, how did they survive? And then
they dug holes in the ground.
There's spiders right now that do
right.
That's literally dig holes in the ground.
I was saying there's some spiders that just jump.
Yeah, no, there
bees
is.
out of the
There
air,
is.
which is terrifying.
There's some spiders that live in blue chargers.
And then there's a spider that's a good in between that makes a tiny web and puts it in his arms and snares things.
Catches things in
awesome.
there. Yeah. No, I've seen specifically one spider that just, as you said, was in a hole, and when something got close to the hole, jumped out, grabbed it, and fucking killed it.
So it could have gradually changed, and the web just became a better way for some species.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a weak argument too.
Yeah.
Weak ass.
He had some misspellings and stuff in it, so.
And obviously
a doctor didn't know how to click spell check.
Well, there's no way to prove he was a doctor.
So either way, we're not reading. What are we reading then?
We're reading something that we're debunking.
Yeah.
Is that okay with you?
No, I'm just saying, like,
George,
it's published. It's in the Library of Congress.
Yeah. Did you want to go holler at Congress maybe and see what you could do about it? Well, good. Then what we're doing is we're creating your activism.
Now
you're gonna go ahead and call. Hold on, he's calling Congress.
Congress.
Congress. Pick up the red phone. Now I want to show you something I found interesting.
Have we used this yet? I don't think anyone's moved it. I don't want to move it. The camera's gonna move.
Alcohol.
Camera moved.
Oh shit.
Camera moved.
It's too heavy.
I'll fix it, guys. Relax.
All right. Well, I'm gonna grab this and then you fix the camera.
Okay.
Are you grabbing?
So I looked up.
It's
scientific evidence of evolution being a hoax, and this is what Rational Wiki has. I feel like Hemi needs to look at this because he usually has good responses.
No,
but he's parched.
And I'm dripping water.
Dripping wet.
Dripping wet with water. What?
This is what they have on the subject of scientific evidence of evolution being a hoax.
Tumbleweeds?
We priced that one too.
Yeah. That's it.
Y'all should just go ahead and date. I mean, it's cute.
That's weird.
Why is that weird?
Because we won't evolve.
We won't know each other for a certain amount of time.
You'll evolve. You'll be able to get pregnant by the end of it. I promise you.
Me?
Yeah.
You pointed at me.
Yeah.
You don't think he's the more like feminine one? Obviously.
No way.
He's very
obviously.
No, his beard's bigger. He's going to be the one that shoots DNA in.
I shaved. Oh, shoots DNA in you. Anyway, all right, we're done. Now it got really weird.
Why is that really weird?
But for real, tumbleweeds.
Yeah, it's tumbleweeds.
Scientific evidence.
That's awesome.
Of evolution being.
That's the cool. That's.
Why is that evidence?
That's neat.
They're saying there's nothing.
They're saying
there's the sounds of crickets and tumbleweeds going by.
Oh, okay. I thought that they were like,
desert.
no,
it's
the tumbleweed is actually fucking derived from.
The evidence can't ding shing the tumbleweeds. There ain't no evolution.
Oh, I didn't read where it says this is a complete list of scientific. Oh, I didn't read that part.
Oh, Hemi.
Look at those.
You're a funny guy sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes, keyword.
Well, you said because you started it with like, no, you have a lot of like good scientific blah 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 blah, and then you brought that up.
I said.
My mind was ready to.
I found
work.
I said I looked up this and found this site with this.
It's the same thing.
Scientific evidence for God's existence. Go ahead and click on that link.
No.
Yeah, I don't feel like
that's a different subject.
We don't need to get into that. I do feel like
it's just going to probably be
another tumbleweed.
Yeah, it's just somebody that made all these pages, and it's just a bunch of tumbleweeds.
Don't do that.
That's probably what they do.
All right, and
disproving evolution. Then they're also going to have tumbleweeds.
And then we discussed this briefly already. The conspiracy theory, the one I found that was most common, was elitist, kind of forcing evolution. And a lot of people felt, well, I won't say a lot, but some people, some conspiracy theorists felt that they were pushing evolution to kind of wrestle power away from religion. Because it's being taught in schools and there's no creationism. Well, it's taught in some schools if you go to private school. But they feel like they're forcing it to take away power.
Of religion?
Yeah. What are your thoughts on that? Is that a possibility?
Wait, it's just made up just to be against religion? What?
Is it a possibility? Sure. Everything's a possibility. I would actually say that what they're doing, because if you look at it, the majority of scientists believe in evolution. Why is there anything else in our science books that's science? Because that's science. That's the newest science out right now. If they were scientifically able to disprove evolution, I would say they'd take it out of the science books. Until that occurs, that's the newest science. That's what you're going to learn about. Religion isn't science. If you make it science and make it, make it where people would look at it and be like, no, that's definitely the case. That actually read on it and shit like that, then I would dare to say that would probably also be taught in school. And in some schools, it is taught in school. I mean, fuck, like a lot of private schools are religious based and they teach, fucking religion.
You know what's funny? Mine was, but they didn't teach that at all.
Yeah. My school they specifically had a religion class.
Yeah. Oh no, we still had Bible classes.
Right.
But science was.
But they didn't teach that in science class.
Right.
They didn't teach that at all.
They have science teachers in those private schools that teach creationism.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's not like a Bible study or something. It's like this is how it happened.
Yeah?
Yeah.
More of the Ken Ham scientists?
Yes.
Gotcha. If y'all aren't familiar with Ken Ham, he actually did a debate with Bill Nye, which is kind of deals with evolution a little bit, I guess, but essentially it's just a religious debate on creationism versus, whatever. And it's a pretty interesting one. But Ken Ham actually developed started a museum, which is the Creationist Museum, which is supposed to prove that everything in Genesis is completely scientifically factual. But based on everything I've heard, there's a lot of scientists that don't agree with that.
All right. I would say based on our discussion of evolution, I would say the biggest key here would be observation. That would change everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It would be a simple cut and dry, oh wow, we saw everything change.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so here is, I don't know how to pronounce his middle name.
Neil deGrasse
Tyson. All right. So this actually is him. A girl asked, what would it be like, or how long is it going to take to get to another galaxy? And he answered kind of that in the beginning, but I put it to the part that kind of could deal with evolution. That's very interesting, and could potentially, if we ever get the ability.
Space, and we go anywhere in the universe we want. But you know what's cool? If you go to a faraway galaxy, let's say one that's M100 is the name of the galaxy, M100. I told you to look up M87. There's another one called M100. It's 65 million light years away. You know what's cool? Light from the asteroid that is making the dinosaurs extinct is only just now reaching that galaxy. That is awesome. So, in fact, if you bent space, went through a wormhole, came out the other side, you would have beaten the light. You'd get there in just a few minutes. You could go to that galaxy, whip out your telescope, and watch the extinction of the dinosaurs. That's cool. That's just... So, the universe is a kind of a time machine. You see things not as they are, but as they once were. And once you can travel back and forth among them, we're in a way traveling through time. And I don't know if we're mature enough to make that happen and to not end our own civilization in so doing. You'll have the Time Lords. Well, that's there are Hoovians among us. So I would just be careful about what power you wish for, because who knows what will necessarily come of it. I'd like to think it would be all used for peace and kindness, but there are people saying we want we want peaceful use of space. In space, I don't want any wars. And I think this is completely unrealistic, in fact, immature. I think there'll be plenty of wars in space. You know why? Because we have wars down here on Earth, right? If you can figure out a way to not have war in space, then why didn't you figure that out here on Earth, okay? Why do you have to go into space to not kill each other?
I left it playing because he makes a good point. It doesn't really have anything to do with what we're talking about.
Go in space, and you can find whatever galaxy you want. Thank you all for your time.
I don't fully agree with that second half of what he was saying at all. The light thing that he was talking about was he said you could watch the extinction. You wouldn't.
Yeah, we already know how light travels,
right,
so we could see.
Well,
if we go out far enough.
Right, but you wouldn't be able to see the extinction. You would just see the light of the extinction. You would see essentially the light from the explosion. No, or how would that?
Yeah,
work?
yeah, that's what he's talking about.
Yeah, you wouldn't actually be able to see them dying.
Yes.
How?
That's light traveling.
But how?
Light reflects off of us and transmits the information of what's going on, and that's how our eyes see it. If we're far enough away, because we can bounce a laser off the moon, which takes like 8 seconds if I remember right, and we know how fast light travels, and they can physically measure it hitting the reflector that's up there and then coming back. So that we know light takes time. So if you go out far enough, the light that's reflecting our information of what we're doing, you would definitely see the asteroid hitting, but also everything else that's going on.
Of course, they'd have to be watching with like a telescope or something.
Oh, it would have to be some sort of amazing.
It had to be a crazy fucking.
Right. But it's still possible because we do know light.
Right.
Moves at a certain speed.
Cool. That's cool.
So we would physically see evolution.
Right.
In that case, because we can go out to different parts.
I would, however, disagree with him as far as saying that there's definitely wars in space and all that shit.
No, he's saying if all right, let's say we go up, Russia goes up, other countries go up, we find a new resource that's going to be like helium-3 or something like that, and it becomes scarce. The odds are we'll fight over it like we do here.
And with our current way of thinking, I would agree. And he's thinking with the current way that we're thinking, and he's saying if we can't fix our problems on Earth, then how are we going to fix our problems with Earth?
Right, exactly.
What I would think is that our problems on Earth are probably going to be solved before we even tackle all that shit.
When we get good at getting this space, that's very true.
I would dare to say that's going to be the case.
Well, because you know why that works?
I personally don't think we're going to be able to do that unless we all come together.
That's what I was going to say.
Do that. And once we do that, because like if we realize that cooperation is better than competition, then the whole world would move light years ahead of where we are right now. And we're decently close. I think the younger generation gets it. I think the older generation is afraid of it.
I will say competition drives humanity in a lot of ways, but you can have cooperation competitively.
I could agree.
Since you're a team, but you're trying to be, you're trying to bring the ideas.
But check this out.
And working together.
Check this out. Competition, right?
Yeah.
Instead of competing with people, compete with past goals. As a unit.
Oh yeah. That's competition. Would feed into the competitive.
That's competition, but you're not competing against anyone. You're not trying to beat somebody.
You're technically not the way I said either, but you're trying to be the one that's the biggest factor.
Right, no, but what I'm getting at is don't do that. Don't think that way.
I don't think it's a bad thing.
Well, I could see it becoming a bad thing. I could see somebody then being jealous maybe, and then jealousy occurs, and then it's more of a problem.
Yeah,
I look at it if the human... Well, it's with anything right now.
We'd have to change our mindset altogether.
That's what I'm getting at. That's what I'm getting at. If the mindset is, let's all cooperate and try to further everyone in humanity, and then you come out with something that does that, and everyone's like, wow, this is fucking awesome. Now compete with that idea. Make something even better as a unit.
Oh, yeah, we have a lot of scientists that do
for
that
the most
now.
part, that's science. That's what it is. Because a lot of them, even when they try to compete, so on and so forth, if somebody comes out with something that disproves them, they're not like, oh, you fucking dickhead. Like, they're like, oh, wow, awesome. That's now what's fact, and let's go with that, and let's build on that. Like, honestly, if the whole world had a scientific way of thinking, I don't think we'd have wars and everything like what he's talking about. We have them right now because...
no, he didn't say that, though.
No, he was saying that we have wars right now.
Right.
And he said, if we're out there, what makes you think that we're
not
going to be
have wars
any different?
Right.
That's what I think would make us different. I don't think we're going to get there until we fix that.
Right.
In fact, obviously, I'm a huge advocate of the alien species. I don't believe that the alien species would even allow us to go out into that realm without a higher understanding of what we actually are, who we actually are, to be able to even explore life outside of the Earth. This, in my opinion, this is essentially a prison that we're all in until we stop being fucking ignorant, and then we can move on.
Possibly.
Definitely. Go ahead.
I'm just saying possibly.
Right.
All right. Well, I think we're done with evolution.
Yeah.
That was
I
fun.
think we're doing good on that.
Yeah, we hit
Nothing
it.
else
We
on
hit
it?
it from
Any
a
notes?
lot.
You got a bunch of notes.
Oh, this is all.
Oh, with the other.
Yeah.
Okay.
We hit it from a lot of different angles.
Yep.
So, obviously, good people, give us your thoughts. It doesn't have to be right now. If you see this on the YouTubes,
Yeah,
feel free
please
to
comment. Yeah, share your opinions or whatever.
All right, I think it's time for the funny video because we need to get this ball rolling.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So this is a video that I picked out. It's short, it's sweet. I think it's pretty funny, and it just gets to the fucking point. Go ahead and full screen that bitch.
Oh, we're showing NBA. You can't show the NBA.
We could show this. You gonna full screen it?
Hey, I'm trying to let the people watch it right now.
Full screen. Don't let them watch the title. All right.
This is the funny video of the week, picked out by Mr. Hemi.
Yeah.
And let's see what it looks like.
A fabulous season. Are the expectations a little too high in what we hope for this team because many thought they had a chance to compete for a title? Or are they really underachieving a little bit?
I think at times during the course of the season, whether you're a coach or a player, you ignore what the record says.
Oh, he crop dusted him.
His face in slow motion. He comes to a realization. Look at LeBron's face. He's looking over at him like, you notice? Yeah, he notices. King James hamming out on these bitches.
No. Take his rings away. A champion doesn't fart like that. Or maybe a champion does.
That's a champion fart right there, bro.
Maybe a champion
Breathe it in.
Does fart that
Breathe
way.
it in, little homie.
Oh.
I thought that shit was
That
absolute.
other player's from Brazil.
Hey, we
He's
don't
probably
have...
yelling some Portuguese,
Wow.
so he was not happy.
I thought that shit was fucking hilarious.
Wow.
Yeah, you don't see that often.
No. You don't get a play-by-play.
Right. They did a
Of a
slow
fart.
motion. What's funny is, like, you could see the sheer terror in his eyes, because, like, in his eyes, he was like, what the fuck? Oh, no. Oh, no. And you can't just, like, get up from the bench and, like,
Well,
run
there's
away.
nowhere else to sit.
Right. Yeah, like, that's
his
you.
spot.
Right. And you're sitting by LeBron. Like, you don't want to miss out
Yeah,
on
you
that.
do. Yeah, you
Unless
do.
he farts all the time.
Oh.
That shit was
That's
awesome.
how he jumps higher. That's what it is. That's the secret to his talent.
You gotta-
No one wants to defend him.
It's jet propulsion, bro. You got to do it. Anyway, I thought that shit was fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
So that's the funny video. Short and sweet. A little bit of LeBron fart.
Do-do-do.
There's that again.
All right. All right, George. You're up to bat. Here's the gay-if. Is it gay-if? Question of the week.
All right. So, is it gay if? Are we sticking like male to male with this or what?
Whatever.
Whatever. Male, female, whatever. Is it gay if you're doing like
It's gay.
sexual stuff with someone else just for money?
I would say no because that's not your preference.
And that's where I was standing with it too.
Yeah, I'd say no. I'd say you're doing a gay act.
But, like,
That's
you're-
not someone you want to marry.
Let's say you're a guy and you're fucking this dude, right? You're fucking him, and you're into
Are you
it.
enjoying it?
That's the thing. You're into it and everything, But you're only doing it because of money. If
you do have to get it up though, which kind of means
but if it wasn't for money, you wouldn't be doing it. It's like
so you're talking about gay for pay. That's what he's talking about.
Hold on. All right. In our last,
just take it all in, Hemi.
And in our last, is it gay if? We were talking about if your girlfriend was fucking you in the ass, is that gay?
And he was into it.
And y'all said yes.
Because he wanted it.
Yeah, I know. Hold on. Y'all said yes, that's gay. Now we hit with is it gay if you do gay acts for money?
Just for money.
And but you said you're into it, but you're getting money.
No.
My question was just for money.
If it's just for money, you're not into it.
No,
but but Steven just mentioned that you have to get it up to do it.
You're right.
Right. So then you don't necessarily have to be into it.
How are you getting it up?
I saw a Japanese
game
show, which was, this is funny, where a porn star, he was in like a little box, and they were trying to see how long he would last with a gay man giving him a blowjob. And the guy was like, man, I won't even get it up. It doesn't matter. Like, I'm good to go. Like, you're going to pay me the money at the end of all this. And apparently, you couldn't see anything. Right? But apparently, he's like, oh no, I'm hard. Oh, no. Oh, I'm going to finish. Oh. And it was just, you could see his face. Like, he was like, he's like, oh.
Right.
Oh.
So essentially, he was into the sensation, not who was doing it to him.
Exactly.
Also,
so that's
not
not
so
gay.
much control you have over.
Hold on. So that's not gay. It's not gay.
Right.
So if a dude is into the sensation of his girlfriend,
hold on,
no. Let me finish. If the dude is into the sensation of the girlfriend doing that to him, and he knows it's his girl that's doing it to him,
he wants something shaped
gay?
like a penis in his butt.
It's the sensation of it, though.
It's the point. Exactly. There's a sensation. He wants a sensation, or he doesn't.
Of something in his.
He wants it though.
What if it wasn't? But yet again, what if it wasn't penis shaped?
Well, then we get away from your question.
Why are we talking about your question?
Because I'm trying to see how y'all are like, no, not gay here, but it's gay here. Like it's the same. It's the same thing.
I disagree.
I don't think it's the same thing. At all.
Really, you don't think it's the same thing?
How's it the same thing?
So
the guy wants it.
The guy wants the biggest thing. So you're saying that getting fucked by a dude is less gay than getting fucked by a girl with a dildo?
He wants it though.
No. That's what you said.
Yeah.
That getting fucked
I'll say it. Yeah.
So getting fucked by a guy is less gay.
Well, I think if you're doing the gay for pay, you're probably doing the fucking.
No, not necessarily.
I would hope so. What's this scenario,
You would hope
George?
so.
I would hope so.
I hope I'm fucking.
I'm not getting.
I mean, whatever.
It could
Either way,
be either way, right?
Yeah, either way. It could be either way.
If
But
it's going in my butt, I'm getting paid a lot more.
But it's not his preference. It's not.
Because I can throw a wig on a dude and maybe get through it for,
But he still got hard,
lower
though.
money.
Yeah, but I'm just saying.
What do you mean it's not his preference? It's a hole that your dick goes into.
No.
Close your eyes and you can
It's
try
his
to
profession.
imagine
It's his
whatever you
profession.
want.
Yeah, but you're trying to imagine.
He
a
has to
woman
do this for money.
Yeah, but
he has to do this for money. He has to get up for money.
right. Yeah, but you said you try to imagine a woman. You could still be imagining a woman fucking you in the butt.
No, you can't, because a woman doesn't have a penis.
Right. I would. That's so weird.
There's still a penis in your butt. That's what you want. You want a penis in your butt. That deals with your question.
But you still want a penis in your butt for money.
No, for a lot more.
But you still want a penis. You want.
No, I don't want it. I want
yes,
the money.
You do.
No, I want the money.
But the penis has to go in your butt, so you want that to happen, so you get the money.
No, I just want the money. That's a consequence of wanting that money.
Right.
But it's a consequence. It's not something I want.
You don't wake up wanting.
You want that to happen, so you.
This
get
guy
the
wakes
I want
up.
the sale to happen.
This guy.
We're going that logic.
This guy wakes up wanting his girlfriend to put something in his butt. This other guy wakes up not wanting something in his butt.
But he needs to buy meth.
He needs to buy
and
meth.
he's gonna go get pounded for it.
I don't know, bro.
Pound for pound.
It's a good question, isn't it?
Well, I mean, of course it's a good question. I think both are good questions. I think any of these are probably going to end up having to be good questions. I don't know. I think it's difficult. I think you're doing a gay act. So I don't think you're gay, but I think it's gay, yes. I think it's gay.
If you walk in on it, yeah, you're like, oh, that's gay. But then if the guy was like, well, I'm just doing this for money. I don't enjoy this.
It's still,
$100,
but
let's go.
it's still gay.
It's still funny, a dude getting pounded, going like, oh, wait, hold on. This is not what you think.
It's exactly what I think. No,
Before you watch this.
because like honest, and I guess we differ here. I think that's gay because it is gay because it's a dude fucking another dude. The act of it is gay. Whether you wanted to do it or not, the act of you fucking a dude is gay. It is. So, now you had intentions of, like, you're not gay, but you're doing it for money. I gather that. Yeah. But you're still doing it with a dude. That's what makes it gay. That's why
there's always for money.
Uh-huh.
He still prefers women, though.
It doesn't matter.
He's still straight.
I'm not saying he's gay. I'm saying it's gay. What he did there was gay. That one time that he had sex, that was gay sex.
Okay, so we're looking at like a third person gay. It's kind of what you're getting at.
It's gay.
The act itself,
it's gay.
The act itself is gay. But
at that
I thought the question would be, is the person gay for?
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't say he's gay for it. He did something.
I thought that's how we were framing the question always. Well, but are we
the frame of the question is it gay?
Because if we're just talking about gay acts, the dildo in the butt is a gay act.
I would say that that it could definitely be looked at as gay. Yeah, of course.
now we're all switching questions.
We've dissected this question.
This is what has to happen.
So there's third person.
We gotta
gay,
know.
And
it's third person and first
past
person.
participle gay.
Yeah. Well, I would say the act of it is gay, but
we have it from the people walking in on the act. We have it from the person in the act.
Yeah, because I think what we did was we were looking at it. The act of it is it gay, and then the what's your mental state while it's happening.
We need to ask science now.
I think what's the mental state with you getting, a fucking dildo in your ass, but it's from a girl, your mental state is that I'm being dominated by this girl. Maybe that's what you're getting off.
That I want to have a penis.
Well, no, not that. I think I
want something shaped like a penis that she wears.
You keep saying that, which makes you gay, because you said that. You said you want the
I'm
penis
the one that
shaped
said,
in your butt.
I'm the one that answered quickly, and you sat there and analyzed the gay if question for like 20 minutes before you said something. So you had to think about dudes doing it for 20 minutes. You're the gay dude.
No, it doesn't make me gay. It makes me scientific. You have to look at
scientifically gay. Sure.
I mean, what is this? Fourth person gay? What
now we're in
the dimension of the person. So the person that watches the gay act, are they gay?
The person that thinks about the gay act to decipher whether it's gay or not.
Holding his hand.
I'm getting a Rubik's Cube out. We'll find out.
Getting a Rubik's Cube. Anyway, I would say that the act of it is gay, and the thought going through his mind, I don't know, it might be gay. It depends on the dude, I guess. But for the most part, I would say if you're just doing it for money, you're not gay as a whole.
Okay, that's what I thought the question was.
I think it goes to both things, because you can have different opinions.
Well, now we're gonna have to think about it that way next time. So it's always gonna have two answers, probably.
Yeah, that's how we should think about all this. It's scientific thinking.
Because is it gay if the act of is probably always going to be gay. The variation is if the person
if we're asking
is
it
not.
gay, then it might be gay.
Yeah, but see, the act of a girl fucking a dude in the butt by gay, well, like if you look up homosexuality,
I don't think we should look that up.
If you looked it up,
Google images right now.
Essentially, then it would say like it would be like dude fucking dude, female fucking female. So essentially, the act of the one that I mentioned,
it could just be attraction.
It's a female, right?
It doesn't have to be.
We talked about it last time.
Wait, right?
Oh yeah, we did.
But at that point, it's a female fucking dude, and the dude is attracted to the female fucking him, not a dude fucking him. But then you can go even. Well, we can save that one for another time.
Okay, good. Thank God.
Let's go to fifth person.
I might have a good "is it gay if," which me right now in my mind I'm thinking like, dude, that's totally fucking gay, and y'all probably would think the same thing, but
you never know.
I guess we'll bring it up next time.
Next week.
I think that might be the first one that we're all like, yep, it's gay. We're all in agreement.
Well, that was an easy one.
Moving on.
So if there's
we just look
men,
we're like, what are you doing?
Is it gay if you like dudes fucking you?
Like,
is that gay?
No.
No.
Why would that be gay? No.
Does he have a mustache?
Do they high five afterwards?
Yeah.
Good game, man. Good fucking job. You did it.
My man.
You see what I imagine there is like two really like
I imagine it.
Goopy hands slapping together.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, see, now since you imagined it, does that make you gay?
Is it gay?
I didn't imagine any penis.
No, I did.
Just two happy guys, chest up. They look good. So maybe it is a little gay.
They're listening.
I would say PG gay porn played in my head.
PG gay.
I mean, anytime we do a gay if, we end up imagining the situation to try to be like,
and so does everyone else. So appreciate it, folks at home, for exploring your sexuality
go ahead
with
and put
us.
that in your pocket.
Keep it forever.
All right, so let's go.
All right, so
2.5 hour mark. Where we at?
Say what?
Yeah, we're good.
All right,
keep us up.
So good. Keep it moving.
All right, second topic.
Minimum wage.
Minimum wage in Seattle.
I like this one.
Went up. Is going up, I should say.
Yeah.
Depending on the size of your business, is
correct.
going up to $15 an hour.
Right.
Couple things I kind of got from the article I read is, I think this is kind of cool. Waiters and waitresses are going to be part of that.
Correct.
Which I think is going to help us kind of match other countries, because when other people from other countries come here, they're like, why do we tip everyone? Why don't you just pay them?
Right.
And then we pay you. And then we don't have awkward conversations. Because sometimes they'll come here and not tip, and then someone will spit in their food, and they're like, why did that happen? It's because we pay them $2 an hour, and you better fucking tip them.
Right.
So I thought that was a cool change. One quick thought, though. If you're a small business and your structure was structured a certain way and your profit was thin, is it fair to them to have to pay that, forcing them to adapt, or if they can adapt or evolve?
Yeah, here's the thing.
Right, that was nice. That was exactly like my thought on that whole situation as well.
Yeah, I did some math here. So let's say they have a small business or whatever has enough money to spend like $1,000 per hour for the people, right? At $7.25, they could afford to pay 138 people, or about 138 people.
Okay.
The same $1,000 per hour, take that with the $15 per hour, they can only do 67.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
So that's pretty big.
I know that's how McDonald's adapted, especially with the chain. Like here in Georgia, when it went from 5 something to 7 something, they just had less employees.
Right.
Back in
now, what a lot of people say though is that what would happen is whatever that business is. Let's imagine they provide you with some kind of product or what have you. That the cost of the product would go up.
It would have to, because here's another thing. Here's my other math. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, basically to afford to, especially with smaller companies, to afford to pay them the $15 per hour, they would have to raise the stuff they're selling to compensate for the $15 per hour, which then would it's like a ripple effect. That would affect like a lot of things, and maybe the cost of living would be higher, and then eventually might lead to let's raise minimum wage again, and like.
Well, we always have inflation, which is kind of what you touched on there.
Yeah.
The kind of the thought there. What if a company is actually, I mean, there are a lot of companies that are good at making profit, and this just kind of dips into the profit some. It doesn't actually have to change prices or anything.
Right.
And some companies, though, the
larger companies, that I think is the case.
Well, it's like Gap.
Small businesses, though, I don't think that's the case. I think doing this, it would be substantially more difficult for small businesses to thrive.
Yeah.
Unless they're able to get better loans to account for that as a
small businesses don't necessarily need that as much as a corporation does.
Need what?
Loans.
It's really, no startup loans. You don't think that's like a big thing?
Well, startup loans is more, you're either building a structure or like a restaurant or something like that, or you need equipment. Some of it will be labor.
Are you thinking like service-based? Because if we're talking about service-based companies, then you're right. No, I mean, there's not a lot of stuff. But if you specifically need a building or have to pay rent or have to pay anything like that, then you are going to have startup costs, which you might not be able to pay out of pocket. But if you can get that loan, then you could, start doing that.
Yeah.
I think that would affect how much people are going to get loans, so on and so forth. If minimum wage does change. Now another thing though is this. If you do pay people more, if that raises with everyone, that means there's going to be more money in the pockets of the consumers. Thus,
it touched on it.
Thus more consumption. So if you do raise the price, and it doesn't have to be a lot. Like
maybe that thin line of profit could cover.
Yeah, like people are thinking, oh, well, you got to raise up like fucking $5 on this. Like you might not fucking have to. You might be able to do like maybe 10 cents, 50 cents. But now people have substantially more money that they can actually cover that cost. So it's not that big of a deal.
Small businesses pop up all the time and go under all the time, and a lot of times it has nothing to necessarily do with what they're paying their employees. It could just be
bad business model,
right?
Yeah.
But the thing is, new businesses pop up, they have to keep that in mind, so it's not a problem for new small businesses because they already know. They're like, oh, this is something we're going to have to plan on.
Right, you got to take it into account. You got to figure out how to have a better strategic business model to be able to run it with maybe less people or what have you.
Right.
Yeah, of course.
Now, of course, a lot of conservatives aren't happy with something like this, and I remember in Georgia when it went from 5-something to 7-something, and I remember people losing it, like fast food's going to go crazy, Walmart's going to go crazy. You want to know what happened right after the hike? Something that came out in the fast food industry? The dollar menu.
Yeah.
They actually lowered prices on a lot of things.
Yeah. Now, did they also make them cheaper? Is that why they then became $1? Was it actually?
It was the same sandwiches and stuff like that.
Was it? I mean, you know that? Because what if they made it less healthy and they made things worse for people?
I feel if that was the case,
cheaper.
Conservatives would have jumped on it. It would have been like, this is an easy, like, hey, they had to do this because you did this. And I didn't see any of that. Can I know that for sure? No. Right. But I would say that would have been that would have made a hot issue. Like, now we have to make unhealthy food.
What if a conservative watches this and they're like, oh, we didn't hit on that.
we had a...
Well,
now it's too late.
Now it's too late.
Because you can't do anything with $5.
No, just because, that could have been, I don't know, but it could have been the case if that did happen.
I would say this, the same nuggets at McDonald's
have always been the same.
I would say they weren't good for you then, they're not good for you now.
Right, I agree.
And they went on the dollar menu.
Right. Now, how did that make sense, business-wise?
I'm gonna say they had a profit margin that.
Do you think maybe they had a crazy profit margin like you were saying, but they figured if we drop the price, more people will buy,
and
that's
I think
resulting
technology
in more sales?
I would say technology advances too allowed them to fire, because I think they held a lot of people from like the 80s and 90s. They kept them on, and then they're like, we don't need you.
Some kind of machine took place of
right.
So
allowing them to be more efficient, so you could raise minimum wage.
Right, but so when you do that, then you have a lot of people losing out on jobs. A lot of people.
Yep. Well, technology is going to do that anyway.
I agree. I agree completely.
But we can touch on that.
Because
that's a big one too.
That's definitely a big one. But if that does happen, a lot of people lose their jobs, so on and so forth. Then you have a lot of people, now with minimum wage jobs that are getting paid more, which is fucking awesome. Mm-hmm. And then you have people not getting paid shit.
Right.
But look what happens though. What happens is then you've created yet again, because we're losing it right now. What's happening? And I don't agree with this. I'm just saying if we're going with a capitalist society, this is what has to happen. In a capitalist society, you have to have, in a functioning one, you have to have a upper class, a middle class, and a lower class.
Yeah.
And being as though how money has been distributed over a very long time now, you have had an upper class and a very, very our middle class is dwindling down to all just be upper class, lower class.
Well, there used to be no middle class.
Well,
it was one or the other. And then revolutions happened. America
that
popped
created
up.
A middle class.
Middle class grew, and it actually.
And what they found is
they argue a lot that it's shrinking right now, but a lot of what I've seen, it's actually staying pretty steady. And because we're able to get jobs, but the lower class, because of technology, they're kind of going first, and the middle class is kind of protected because we usually have skill sets to where we use technology to kind of maintain.
I don't fully agree. I agree that there's still a middle class. I think the middle class is getting moved to lower class. In fact, if you do the research and you look at what the average amount that a middle class person makes, all of us sitting in this room are lower class. And you wouldn't even think that.
I did. No,
but a lot of people, like, I was actually talking to somebody that was like, no, I'm definitely middle class. And I explained to them what that threshold was, and they were like, "Oh,
if they're talking about
like
because technically we are middle class."
No,
because it's usually family based.
Well, I'm talking about how much money just you make, and how much money you make, and how much money I make. Like, we're not middle class. And you have to break it down in that because we're part of that. We would be part of the census. We're old enough to be part of the census. So if they ask what class are you in,
you still have to do a pool of resource. Like in my case, it would be like me and my girlfriend.
Yeah.
And we do pool our resources, and that's how they would measure us where we would land.
Right.
And that's middle class.
Well, actually, if it's just you and a girlfriend, I don't know if they would. If she was your wife, then then they probably would.
I would say any people that are pooling their resources determines where they fall.
Well, then that's a family at that point. If you're doing that, then fucking everyone damn near is gonna try to be fucking middle class. But families just don't work like that though. Like
they actually. I mean, a two income household.
Some do. A lot of families aren't.
Well, I mean, that's how they measure the metric and put you in the class. It's how much buying power you have, how much savings you have. Your savings isn't just going to be separate. Like if your wife loses the job and you hold it up and you have stuff saved, you're going to pay for her to eat.
Of course. No, I'm just talking about pool resources. I'm just talking about sheer income. You're right. Resources, great.
Yeah.
I'm talking about sheer income by itself because that's what this is about.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They have to be put together to associate with a class.
I'm in agreement with that.
Okay.
What I'm saying is, if we're looking at just your income, because that does ultimately, if let's say you get in a fucking car crash and you fucking have, really bad health problems and you have to pull from all those resources. Now you don't have that money. So what are you down to? You're down to your income. Your income's what really matters at the end of the day. And your income is going to dictate what class you are in. And I would dare to say the very vast majority of people that are out there right now are in a lower class income.
They would have to be for the system to work.
Exactly. No, that's what I'm getting at. But if you have a big middle class and you have your lower class, you have your upper class. If you have a big middle class, that's where everyone pretty much buys shit because they have enough money to buy stuff. Yeah. So then that actually fuels everything a little bit better. So the goal is to have a much larger middle class than we currently do. We don't. It is getting smaller. If you do make it bigger, which is exactly what this would do, yes, it shits on some people because people are going to lose jobs and people are going to be in a horrible position.
Well, what percent would it be? Did we just add a huge chunk?
I think it would add. I think it would.
I think it'd be harder for people to get jobs.
It would be harder for people to get jobs. Yes.
If you had one, I don't think you wouldn't be leaving.
I have something.
Like if you already had the job, you wouldn't be leaving. Obviously.
Well, no, they would fire you because now they can't afford you.
Right.
If we're talking about that, yeah. If they could afford you.
If they could afford you, then
there's no problem. No one's going to leave at 15 an hour. Is what I'm saying.
No, of course.
And people, it's going to be hard for people to hire them because I don't think people are going to look at it as minimum wage. I think they're still going to look at it as $15 an hour. Yeah. I still think they're going to hire as this guy's making $15 an hour, which means people that don't have as much skill aren't going to be able to learn as easily.
Right. So that's actually. This is going to hurt. Here's kind of the thing that argues against it. This will hurt education, people going to school and paying for it, because there's going to be a lot less in-between jobs that don't require much skill.
Right. Because they're not going to look at it as
and that's actually going to shrink the middle class more so.
Well,
because that's the thing. Should minimum wage be a living wage? Or should it be kind of a stepping stone for non-skilled labor to learn some skills while working somewhere, and then going to school and still be able to have a part-time job because they can have a lot of part-time jobs at this pay?
Minimum wage is what minimum wage says it is, which is the wage that you're supposed to get paid minimally. Like at the lowest point, this is how much you at least have to get paid. Right. Yeah. That's what it is. Whether you're learning skills, what have you, so on and so forth. I mean, honestly, based on inflation, and that's been going up drastically. Right. Thus meaning there's a lot more money that's out there, but it's worth less. The minimum wage didn't raise with that.
Well, yeah.
Had it done that, we wouldn't be in the predicament that we're in now.
Well, should it go to 15? Should it go maybe to $9? $2 every so often?
I think
we
I'd
kind
be
of measure the.
I think less than 15.
I think I'd be a little happier with a gradual thing, but at the same time, they're not just saying $15. Everyone has to do it right now. There's a gradual plan for it, right. And they're saying.
Well, they're trying to make sure that they don't just shut down small businesses.
Right. So what they're saying is that they're giving big businesses, I believe. 3 years.
My statement. I'm sorry. Well, you got away from what I said, and I'm trying to get it back because we didn't answer it or discuss it.
Okay.
But go ahead.
I was just saying that they're giving big businesses 3 years to reach that goal, and small businesses 5 years.
Yeah.
So people kind of have an idea of the hard.
My concern is someone that's trying to better themselves
can't find a job.
Just lost a lot of stepping stone jobs to kind of bridge the gap. And that's going to be it's going to be a good % of people that may have gone to school is just going to be like, I can't now.
Mm-hmm. Here's the fix for that. The fix for that is that we do give better loans to people that are trying to start businesses. Then you have more jobs.
Right. But if I'm starting a business and I'm like, man, now at $15, I'm going to have to pick skilled people.
That's what I was talking about.
Because it costs more for me to run.
That's what I was going to say. They're not going to look at it as minimum wage. They're still going to look at it as 15. So
right,
it's going to be harder for people to... And so the point is, no one's going to hire someone at $15 an hour that don't have the skill, but people can't learn the skill because they can't get hired.
But yet again, you're looking at it at 50... You're putting a value on people, right?
Well, you have to with capitalism.
No, and
we're forced to.
But we've been fucked over so much right now that
I'm not saying it's right.
Oh no, yeah, we're not discussing that.
No. But it's gotta change. Is it gonna suck at first? Fuck yeah, it's gonna suck. But if you're trying to get back to where we don't have a small group of people having the majority of the money, you have to make those changes. Is it gonna suck? Fuck yeah, it's gonna suck. But you have to fucking do it if you want to stick with capitalism. I vote against capitalism.
Well, all right. What about
that's
the guy?
That's a completely different fucking subject matter. And this is exactly why I think capitalism doesn't fucking work because of this fucking shit.
What about the guy that worked his whole life, started a small business with a business model that fits what's going on right now? He becomes a millionaire, and he has 100 employees or whatever. And his business is like a restaurant, he's like, okay, minimum wage, what have you. This changes. He starts to lose those millions to pay employees more. Right, granted, he'll probably fight to keep it, but it may not work. Is it fair to him to not be a millionaire so more people, like you say, the wealth is spread out to more people? Is it fair to take away from his hard work? That's kind of a conservative standpoint, and I have trouble with this myself. That's why I ask.
Is that fair?
Is it fair to him?
It's fair to everyone. Yes.
It's fair.
It's fair to way more people government. For them to get paid more.
Is it fair for the government to take that money from him that he worked hard for?
Well, yes, and here's why. Because when that was happening, how many years was he doing this business?
It doesn't
throw out a number. It does matter for what I'm about to say.
I just said his whole life.
His whole life.
With that.
Okay, so how old roughly is he?
I was going to say 60.
60.
And in 60 years, have we had inflation?
Sure.
So for at least 60 years, they never said, here, you got to go up with that. So for 60 years...
Oh, so for 60 years, they've been helping him, and now it's his turn to help everyone
else. Yes.
Okay.
For 60 years, they've been looking out for him. Now they're looking out for the vast majority of people if you go to the system. So is it fair? Fuck yeah, it's fair. For 60 years, he's been in a fucking great position. Has he worked hard? Yeah. But are they working hard for him? Fuck yeah, they are. They're doing the groundwork.
Well, I mean, he pays more tax and stuff.
No, he doesn't. If we're talking about
percentage-wise,
no, he doesn't. If we're talking about big businesses,
dollar-wise, he does.
No, he doesn't. If we're talking about big businesses, a lot of big businesses.
No, I'm just talking like a small chain of restaurants.
Well, let's talk about both. If we're talking about really, really big businesses, they don't even pay taxes. Get mad at that.
People. Oh yeah, there's some that don't. But I'm talking about the guy
I know, but
that works hard, but earns it all, pays his taxes, and pays more dollars than someone that works at Walmart.
Yeah. At some point,
it's fair to take it from him.
Yes, it is. If he's had 60 years of not being fucked with like that, yes.
I'm saying he has, because he feels like, man, because I made more, I had to pay more tax. I thought we were equal.
No. No, it doesn't work like that. You're just going to keep on getting richer and richer, and it's easy because you have a shitload of money to continue to get richer and richer. People that don't have a lot of money, how do they do it? It's impossible.
He did it.
It's impossible for everyone to do it, though.
Right.
That's the most liberating thought, is that literally not everyone in the world can be rich at the same time.
And with this, they're not spreading the wealth out to everyone. They're only spreading it to 1%.
Right.
Of the people. There's still going to be a lot of people because they can't find a job, get education.
Right.
Will have trouble eating.
Right. So now. So
it's actually it's not fair to everyone. Like
well, hold on. No,
it's only fair.
But I'm not done yet.
To the percent. Well, no, I know. I'm just talking about. You said it was fair to everyone.
No, it's fair to the people that are in those positions.
That are going to get.
Yeah, it's not fair to everyone yet. Then you have to look and you have to say, okay, cool. Well, now the people that don't have jobs because they lost their jobs because they couldn't pay for it, whatever. Now we have to figure out how to get them jobs.
Right.
We have to figure out what we can do to make sure everyone's employed.
Right.
And and we're doing that right now anyway. Supposedly, we're trying to make unemployment not a thing for everyone. So everyone has an opportunity to have a job, to try to go into society and make something of themselves. But if we can pay them better, if we can give them $15 and actually make it where they can fucking buy shit.
I do know
it fucking
this.
sucks not having a lot of money.
Oregon already had minimum wage at like 10.
Washington's at 9.32.
Yeah, something like that, and that state has the highest unemployment out of all the states.
Right.
And a lot of people point and say, well, that's because of that. Because it went from like 8 to 16%. It almost doubled. So 16% of the population can't find a job.
So it sounds like they tried to fix a problem, which may have fixed a problem for some people, and they didn't realize that they also had another.
Really big, yeah.
Well, they caught
almost 1 out of 5.
You can say they caused a really big problem, but would it have been that big if they would have looked at it and said, "Look, this is what we need to do to make this happen"? It's almost like when I was going through school, it was we had to learn signal flow. The school I went to Full Sail, so like audio recording school. You learn something called signal flow, and that's essentially like if you're plugging up a microphone to this, that, the third, blah blah blah. You know where the problem is, and you can fix it if you don't have sound coming out of your speakers.
Right.
So what you have to do is it's the same exact thing. How you look at literally anything in life and try to fix things. If we're fixing a problem here, we have to look at everything else and see what's going to happen. What's going to be the ripple effect? What the butterfly effect? What's going to be the effect of us doing this? And if right now sitting at this table, and this is just us three talking about it, if we know that that's going to be a problem, why wasn't that thought about?
Yeah, I'm sure it was.
Well, then why didn't they try to create a plan to fix it before that happened and then implement it?
Maybe they felt business would adapt and kind of absorb the population back in.
So they had hope instead of a plan.
I don't know.
Well, that's what it sounds like.
And that is what it sounds like.
Right, and you can't do that. So what you have to do is you have to assume the worst and go ahead and fix that. So if we know that people are going to be jobless, we need to figure out ways that we can make it easier for small businesses to come up, to create new businesses where people can then be employed. And we need to figure out a way to make it sustainable for literally everyone if we're going with a capitalist society.
Right.
That's what would have to happen in order for everyone to actually be doing better. But me personally, I do feel like people should get paid more. And I feel like it'd be awesome if everyone wasn't unemployed when that happens. So there's got to be a way to do both.
It's a tough balance.
It is, but it's not. It's a tough balance if we just say, let's do this and not try to figure out this problem. I think if everyone in the world right now...
if they had an easy solution, they would have done it, though.
No,
so it is tough.
I don't at all. I don't. And here's the reason why.
So it's an easy fix? What would you do to fix it?
What would I do? I would get some of our best thinkers right now. I'd call them up right now and be like, look, this is a problem that we have. What do you guys think we could do to fix this problem?
Okay. And so you would actually have to hire a lot of experts, bring them in.
Yeah, hire or
they put together a think tank.
Hire or they.
That sounds tough to me. Not easy.
Really? You think so? That's a bigger problem than what we're currently dealing with.
No,
hiring
not at all.
People
no, you were mentioning how easy it was. But then your response was, we need to go get all these people together.
Not
and
all
we're gonna
these
have to
people.
think of a solution.
No, put 5 people in a fucking room.
I got you.
Right now we could
there's
sit here
always
right
city
now.
boards trying to solve situations.
We could sit here right
times.
now and probably figure it out in less than 2 weeks. We'd have a decent plan.
All right, let's start.
Seriously. Seriously,
Fix it.
I think we could probably do that in less than 2 weeks.
If you fix that, you just fixed unemployment.
Well, you know
altogether.
what we're gonna run into though. We're gonna run into issues with laws and all this shit that stop like certain things from happening, and so on and so forth.
Well, I do want kids to work too.
But here's the issue. Like the issue is. When you go to the root issue, what are we complaining about right now?
We're going to talk about money.
I mean, this is what it is.
I know.
I know that.
I know, but
that's the issue.
It's still a separate. Of course, capitalism is flawed.
Capitalism is a flaw.
But every system we've had has been flawed. So eventually we'll evolve.
So we got to go to something
system
else.
Too.
We got to try something new, right?
Yeah,
that's what has to happen. But if we're trying to fix this system right now, I can almost guarantee you, if you put some of our brightest thinkers really thinking about this shit, and honestly, a lot of them would probably even do it for free just to fucking help people, because people aren't.
Oh, they do.
People aren't as shitty as a lot of people think.
I mean, a lot of people propose how to change districts so there's no, so they don't have political power a certain way and they don't form their district.
Mm-hmm.
That would change things a lot, because then they would have to listen to people better.
Right.
Instead of just working for a group of people.
Right. Well, if we're talking about political districts, yet again, that goes to the oligarchy thing, and then when you vote, does it matter?
Yep. It does, but they shaped it in such a way that it matters a lot less.
Okay, so
that's what I was getting at, a tiny percent. But now, speaking of science that's just done for free to better humanity, I'll finally get to show this.
Good. I was hoping you were going to be able to do that.
Well, that's if anyone's still here.
They're still going to look at it later.
No, I'm kidding.
Thanks, everyone, for tuning in, whether you're watching live or you're watching
I didn't bring it up yet.
Via our recording here. So also, just to let y'all know, follow us, at Odd Planet Now on Twitter. Also hit us up on Facebook, facebook.com/oddplanetnow. Also, this is something that we haven't done yet, but this is only the second show. If y'all have any ideas, anything that you want us to talk about, fucking hit us up. Let us know. You know what I mean? And we might be able to delve into that, throw it into the pot of things to talk about. Also, feel free to talk on our fucking Facebook page and make posts and let us know your opinion on certain things.
Yeah, if you hit us with a cool opinion, we'll definitely talk about it and post it on our show.
Yeah.
And you will be at some point internet famous.
Maybe.
No, not maybe. It's a guarantee.
We're working on it. Do you have that pulled up now?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
How do
I? You click YouTube. Click YouTube.
Oh, yeah, I got you.
At the bottom right.
I got you.
There you go, and then now you'll be able to do it.
Why? Why'd you start?
All right, so this is the science, pretty much a new science invention segment.
Right, this is, basically you'll see, but these are people that make hands, prosthetic hands with 3D printers. And you can see from here, I'll pull it over. The title... Oops. Not that. I started to play the intro again. But the title, it's a $50 hand that's 3D printed versus a $42,000 hand. And this may play a lot into minimum wage too, how much you need for healthcare. And do you need that much?
Oh, I was going to talk about that too, actually. But not different. It's sort of similar to that.
All right, here we go. Music is a little much, but I'm soothed.
The music's a little
it's
much.
A little much.
Calm your nerves.
Relax while watching.
Hi, this is Jeremy Simon with 3D Universe. I recently had a great opportunity to work with just the nicest guy. His name is Jose Delgado Jr., and he is 53 years old and has lived his entire life without his left hand, and had the honor of being able to make a 3D printed prosthesis for him. And he took a few minutes to talk to me about that, so I wanted to share that with you.
My name is Jose Delgado Jr. 53 years old. I was born without a left hand. I'll show you. And I'm here at Jeremy Simon's house, and he's making me a not a robotic, but a 3D hand.
Okay, so here we go. This is the finished cyborg beast in black. So that's the fully mechanical design. So you've had a chance to use this a little bit now in your work, and has it been useful?
Yeah, it's useful for carrying boxes, like the tension, because this one doesn't really grab. If I grab something, it'll just fold down. But these are more, give you more grip and won't let it go as much.
Nice. Okay.
So yeah.
It's amazing that we're even comparing a $50 device with a $40-some thousand device, but that's great that it's been useful.
This one I had for about 3 years, but the thing is, the 3 first fingers move grass, but the other 2 they're just not really for anything, just for I guess cosmetics or whatever.
Yeah.
But after the other one, the 3D one has all function of the fingers, so I like that better.
So you actually work in an environment that involves a lot of lifting and stuff.
Yes.
How has that been in terms of using that versus not using one or using a different one?
Yeah, when I use that one, I can pick up better box because the fingers are longer and straighter than this. So that makes it a lot better when it gets the fingers more out instead of curving.
Okay, so then the fingers aren't actually having to carry the full weight of the box. They're just kind of wrapping around it.
Right.
So it's not putting too much tension.
Right.
That's good. Okay.
And then just like when I bend my wrist, I get enough grip on the bottom of the box.
So it's more like your palm is holding it than the fingers.
Right.
Great. Okay.
And this one just stays solid, whatever it is. It won't flex. It just up to there. That's it.
Okay. And so what else have you been able to try with the 3D printed hand? For example, do you use it like while driving? Can you hold
I could do driving too. I grab on there because this one, if I'm driving and I hit a bump or something, it might just go by itself, and I have to try to adjust my muscle in here.
Mm-hmm.
2 muscles I have to so I get close. But that 3D, as soon as I got my wrist bent, it just hold on.
Okay.
I won't let go unless I open my wrist.
So this is printed in ABS plastic, very common 3D printing material. The shininess is because it's been treated with that acetone vapor to give it a nice surface finish. And the rest of the materials are readily available. Just some hardware to assemble and some cords. And little foam padding and Velcro, some other stuff like that.
And I can use it for driving too.
Yeah, so that grips the steering wheel okay, so you
yeah.
can, it's terrific.
Yeah.
Well, that's very cool. I'm very glad that's working out.
Put the signal on. So, yeah.
Terrific.
And it fits right to my palm too.
Looking at him, you can just tell he's happy by it.
Yeah.
Looking at him, you can just tell he's happy.
He's so happy right now. He's amazing.
He just got a lot more function.
Yeah.
Just hand it to him.
Looks like.
Pun intended.
Or something like that, grocery bag.
Oh, sure. Anything you can handle, anything you can grip onto. Yeah, that makes sense.
That'd be a lot better.
Okay, yeah. So you can carry grocery bags. You can use your steering wheel. So it's able to hold a good deal of resistance there. You're able to pick up something with a little bit of weight.
Yeah.
That's great.
As long as it's not too heavy, like
right,
20 pounds.
That sounds about right. That's about what I'd expect. Yeah, I saw somebody else mention about 20-25 pounds is the limit, so that's great. And I know you told me this, but the cost of that myoelectric was originally what?
This was $42,000.
$42,000
with everything.
You know, we made this 3D printed cyborg beast for a total cost of I think just under $50. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yep. Fuck capitalism.
That's nuts.
Fuck capitalism. $42,000, and it was primarily just a cosmetic arm that had a little bit of functionality.
Now I know you're saying capitalism there,
I'm blaming capitalism.
but capitalism doesn't necessarily have to be like a price gouging kind of thing.
What do you think that was?
price gouging.
Okay.
That's exactly what I mean. That's what I'm saying. It doesn't have to be.
No, you're right. It doesn't have to be, but it's
because
if people say that humans are inherently greedy, which I don't necessarily believe, but a lot of people do. If you believe that humans are inherently greedy, the capitalist system pretty much makes it really easy to like feed that.
It does.
I mean, really easy. So much so that you can sell somebody something, $50 for something that's super useful versus $42,000 for something that just looks a little,
Right.
looks like a regular arm.
And that's one thing Canada kind of addresses. It goes to those companies and says you can't do that.
Ridiculous, bro.
Canada will go, we'll pay you this much per pill or whatever. This is what you're getting. I'm not saying their system's better, but they're at least going, hey, we know the game. And in America, you can charge them for whatever you want, $150 a pill. But
which
here,
that's why they say we have free enterprise here. But I don't think it's exactly free enterprise.
Well, because some of those companies have, I mean, like if you're the one that makes the medicine that works for a certain disease, that's a monopoly, which is technically illegal.
Yep. Right.
But they're still like, well, it's a company that made it. They should own the rights to it. It's patented. And I don't want to take that away too, but it still needs to be like, hey, quit fucking me.
Yeah,
at some point. Quit.
You know, it'd be great if we could like make those things that would like help people and just like I don't know, help them.
That'd
be fucking great if we had the capacity to do that.
These guys, it's like 4 engineers. They do it.
So stupid.
They do it. They do it for free.
We can't do that.
They
what?
They donate.
Wait, we could just help people?
They donate their time. So this is what they're doing.
Weird.
They donate their time, and you can donate to them.
What they're doing right now?
It's RoboHand.
I love it. Yeah.
RoboHand.net.
Look, if we have to live in a capitalist society, they figured out a way to like do it and also be fucking awesome people.
Right.
So
they're still
awesome.
engineers. They're still feeding their family.
Mm-hmm.
But they're still. I mean, I would think someone that's missing a hand is probably going to have trouble as far as getting a job that allows them to make more money.
Right.
So maybe they should get a helping hand.
I hate you so much. I hate you so much. Are you done? Did you put the camera on you so they could see you looking so gay doing that?
I'm so happy that happened.
A helping hand. I hate you.
But yeah, you can check out what they're doing. It's robohand.net. Yeah, it's just a group of guys came together and said, we're going to fix this problem. And this has happened a couple times in history. Another instance, because I just thought of it, Albert Einstein sat with another scientist, because back in the day, early refrigerators just exploded all the time.
Right.
That was a common problem, which I think is kind of funny. And it was the compressor or something, and Albert Einstein said, hey, a lot of people are dying, a lot of people are getting sick, let's just go ahead and fix this. And he just donated some time, didn't patent it, and said, here you go. He just fixed something for humanity. He stopped what he was doing to be like, this is a problem, I can solve it. And that's kind of what these guys are doing. And I hope it puts pressure on those companies that are making the $50,000 thing that insurance has to pay for, that someone has to get paid $15 an hour to be able to afford the $150 a month to the insurance company. Right? So hopefully stuff like this keeps happening, and we won't have to force minimum wage.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yes and no. I think if we're dealing with capitalism, you're right. If we found a way to make everything cheap to where everyone could purchase it,
and technology will help.
And
with
technology
that.
will
3D
help
printers,
with that. Then fucking
because it gave
awesome.
the capability to so many people to make a product. You don't need a factory with a huge mold.
You're fucking right, and technology will definitely help with that. And then it'll get to the point where everyone can pretty much just get stuff for almost free, right? And then what's the point of money?
They're gonna outlaw 3D printers at some point.
Fuck that. They won't.
I have a feeling they will.
They won't though. They won't, because if people start realizing that 3D print, because in my opinion, I think 3D printing is one of the most amazing technological advances within the past, how many years? I mean, we've had them for a little while, but now they're starting to get on a consumer-based level. So let's just say fucking 10 years. Yeah. Within the past 10 years, I think that's one of the most amazing things, because that in conjunction with the internet is so fucking powerful. Like, you know how you share music and shit like that? You can share, like, if you scan something into a 3D
What do you mean
scanner.
share? Are you downloading music illegally?
You fucking can, yeah. If you have a 3D scanner and you scan the schematic of What?
Support local musicians.
No, I do music.
No, that's why
I do
it's
music,
ironic.
and I do pay for music. But I would. Well, let's not get into all that. I'm cool with music being free. I'll just put it that way. I'm not mad at that. We give all of our ATL Workshop in the building. We give all of our music away for free right now. Like, I don't even, you know what I mean? Like, we don't really. But people are so fucking awesome that they fucking donate, which is amazing. People are fucking amazing. But the simple fact of the matter is that 3D printing, you can have a 3D scan of something. Let's just say it's a monkey wrench, right, with a little movable part in it. You can have a 3D scan of that. And like if somebody doesn't have a monkey wrench, but they have a 3D printer, you can put that little 3D scan on the internet and people can just download the schematic, print it, and it's there.
Something to layer onto that is someone will post the schematic like you're talking about and be like, here, it's free, and then other engineers will look at it and like, oh, I can improve
right,
this,
you can
and
make
this
it
is
fucking
why.
that's fucking
so
nuts.
it causes a natural cooperation.
So dope, bro. That like this technology is so fucking dope and could be so beneficial that you're right. They can outlaw it and they probably will, but if they do, bro,
I have a feeling they will.
There needs to be a fucking revolution. People need to say fuck that shit. Fuck that shit.
Because let's say
you can't do that.
Let's say the oligarchy does exist. The 3D printer threatens a lot of their resources. And
well, they already don't want people 3D printing guns.
I kind of agree with that in a sense.
I do and I don't. But if you don't want people doing it,
because I think eventually we need to just stop having guns, and at some point
I agree. But I think that it's almost like a war right now. It's like the common man against the government, right? The government has so much firepower, and if you think the government is actually not for you, you know, against the people, then why would you give away your guns? Like, at that point, you're leaving yourself.
Oh, of course.
No.
It has to start with the government. The government would have to start disarming.
Exactly.
Because then you'd be like, okay.
Yeah. Once, if the whole
I guess
world,
I could stick with the taser.
If the whole world was like, hey, we're no
Still got my
weapons, whatever,
flamethrower.
then yeah, you would probably get rid of your shit. And I think that would need to happen. But yeah, they don't want people printing guns. In my personal opinion, if you do own a gun, I think you need to go through way fucking more fucking like testing and shit like that to even make sure that you're fucking eligible to own a
cars.
gun. And I think
because cars are more people die from cars.
You're right, but think about it. Though.
There's a lot of things we need to be like, hey, be more educated.
Think about what you have to do with a car though. You have to take like 2 tests. 1, you have to take a written test. 2, you have to take a driving test.
Ours though, they're like,
I know.
Thanks for coming in.
I get that, but what I'm saying is, you at least have to do that. For a gun, you just get a background check, and they're like, "All right, here," and you just fucking get it. You don't even have to do training. You don't even have to train with the weapon to make sure you can shoot it correctly.
Well, it's not. They do something more in the background check. They do check if you've been checked into an institution as well.
So they check kind of your mental background and that.
Yeah.
But there's still no training. You don't have to have training to own a weapon. That, to me, seems pretty stupid. It would make sense to me that you have to do that. That just as, like, for instance...
Well, if they handed them out when you were born, you would be raised with them, and then you wouldn't need the training.
You'd be smarter with them, yeah.
It'd be natural.
Well, maybe we should hand guns out.
Maybe.
We're going the opposite
premature...
direction, I feel like, what you guys were just talking about.
Well, this is more of a sarcastic...
I
know. George. I like you. But I also don't like you.
Is it gay if...
You like George?
Yes.
Yes.
So we hate George. We
he does, he does love pussycats.
Yeah.
There's one more thing I want to touch up with the minimum wage thing.
Go for it. Then we're doing the missing plane.
Right, we need to talk about that. It's very important. With people making... well, for one, like with the whole social programs thing, like people that are making I feel like that are making $7.25 or whatever, are ones that are going to be like that need them more, you know. And if they're making more, then maybe they don't need them, so maybe like tax dollars and stuff like that can go to something more useful. I don't know if you guys thought about that or not.
Wait, I guess I didn't get that. So you're saying what?
Like it would reduce the expense for like social programs, like you know.
Oh, you're saying if people got paid $15 an hour, that there wouldn't be enough money to go into social programs.
So there wouldn't have to be a need, and then because the primary people.
Oh, you're saying okay.
The paramount people that need the social programs are the ones that are making less. If they start making more, they won't rely so heavily on them, and then we could make more money towards something else.
What about the population that got fired because of the hike?
Yeah, assuming
they would need it even more.
Right, the ones that don't have jobs would.
I don't know.
Right, and I don't know if y'all thought about that or not.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, then maybe the money would be
Walmart
a little bit better for that.
Walmart actually expects they pay their employees assuming they're going to get this amount of assistance, which is mind blowing to me. That's part of their structure.
What do you mean, assuming what?
They pay minimum wage to a huge portion of their employees, but they're also like, well, that's fine because they're compensated by the government with this. So that's how they're playing that value too. So when those laws change, like Walmart will go in there and be like, no, these social programs are staying. And that's part of their profit margin is tax dollars paying their employees.
I don't know how much you guys know about Walmart, but Walmart's garbage.
Yeah, no, I like the idea that they're like, we're not going to charge you too much, but they do a lot of dirty things
like
to
the business
get there.
themselves is like there's this I forget the documentary. There's this documentary about Walmart and everything, and it's nuts, and everyone should watch it.
It lowers the income of a small town. When there's a Walmart, it lowers the percentage income. And every mom and pop that was paying people 10 to 15 an hour
they get
is done.
Yeah.
So maybe Walmart's part of the cause of like, hey, we need minimum wage because Walmart. Hey, what about the Walmarts in Seattle? They're about to be rolling. They can buy the store.
Well, here's what they actually said in this study or what have you. They said that a lot of businesses, big businesses, will end up bitching and complaining about it, and essentially what Seattle's pretty much saying is if you don't, they're doing exactly what they do on South Park. If you don't like it, then get out.
Yeah.
And at that point, Walmart,
they're like,
they got to make a decision. Are you no, not even that. They could. Walmart's big enough to the point they'd be like, fuck Seattle, deuces, and just leave.
Not if they figure out how to make a profit. If I was Walmart, what I would do, I would just make all the salary employees work more. And then technically they make less per hour.
Right.
So they'll get around it.
Right. They'll try.
They could just put everyone on salary and make them work a lot of hours.
They might try to find a way to do that, but they also might just say, "Fuck it, it's not worth it." I just gave them a loophole.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Well, but
hold on.
The salaried employees aren't going to do it. They'd be like, "Fuck you, you're not. Fuck that."
Not if they need it. Don't do it.
No, they could go to any other place. They could go to any other place. At that point, they're in a management position. You could definitely get hired elsewhere.
Yeah, but.
No, not all salary positions are management. They don't have to be. They can just switch them to
What positions at Walmart are salary?
That's what I'm saying.
You're saying they would move to a salary-based thing for everyone?
Right, which could be the wraparound.
But people also might be like, fuck this. After a little while, they'll be like, oh, I see what you did. Fuck you. No, we're leaving.
Yeah, but if you're the bottom line of Walmart, where are you going to go a lot of times?
I don't know. There might be something else. I don't know. Well, also the problems that we mentioned earlier, which they'd have to solve with like more businesses, so on and so forth. You might have more options at that point. Who knows? Depends on how they try to fix the issues that are inevitable.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
And what sucks is I don't want that to be a we'll see what happens situation. I want them to.
Oh yeah, there needs to be more.
I want them.
We have a plug the hole mentality.
Right.
We have a big dam of issues they're trying to break through, and we're like, we'll plug this one. We'll let those.
Right.
And when they become a bigger problem, we'll do something about it.
Right. Yeah, that doesn't need to be the case.
So,
well,
all right. What about that plane, guys?
What about the plane?
I don't know. Bro.
If you found it, tweet us if you found the plane because we can't.
Whoa! I just found the fucking plane.
It's probably where Bigfoot's at.
It crashed into water, right? Maybe.
That's what they tell you.
Of course.
All right. Tell everyone goodbye.
All right. Well,
that's just how we end it.
Yeah.
Where's the plane? Tell everyone goodbye.
Yeah.
Where's the plane? We got every episode until the fucking plane shows up. We appreciate you watching. And I don't know.
And see you later.
Wow.
That's where I thought he was going.
Appreciate everybody checking us out. Shout out to Brett. I get that you had to go to the bathroom and do whatever you had to do. So fucking appreciate you watching while you did. Shout out to Donald checking us out. Shout out Brianna fucking being one of our you're the only one that we're following. We're not the only one we're following. We're the only one you're following.
It's a mutual relationship.
So we appreciate that.
I really appreciate
fucking,
it. I think Jessica watched. Shout out to Jessica. I'm pretty sure she might still be watching. I don't know.
Shout out the homie Caleb Hizall in this bitch.
Caleb.
Shout out to everyone that checked us out that didn't even mention that they were checking us out.
And those of you that are watching it not on Wednesday, we appreciate it also.
Right.
Appreciate you watching later.
And also, feel free to let people know about us and shit. That might
tell your cousins.
That might tell your cousins.
Just your cousins. I think that's a very good viral idea.
Is that the way to do it? Well, yeah, we appreciate it. And yet again, if y'all want to contact us, Twitter @OddPlanetNow, Facebook.com/OddPlanetNow. Feel free to let us know any ideas or anything you got.
You can always talk to us outside the show.
Yeah,
it doesn't have to be now. So.
That you think would make the show better, or or
do
that
we're
doing right now that sucks. Let us fucking know. Appreciate y'all checking us out.
Send us a letter.
ATLien Workshop signing off. Yeah.
And also, I want to put this in, back to the gay F.
You want to put this in?
Keep the conversation going. That's how this furthers humanity. Us just talking these subjects is so big that it could spark the next idea. I'm not saying it will because we're a bunch of assholes. But it doesn't hurt to talk about things and actually do a little research. You'd be amazed at what you're capable of after that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we're going back to the Fool. All right, bye. Bye. See you later. Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Yeah.
Goodbye.